What's up, everybody? We are back here once again. Got an interesting follow-up show from the last show where we discussed something that I honestly reluctantly discussed. That they calling it the SYSBM prom or what have you. We got something interesting was going on in the chat room where moderator, regular contributor to my channel, does some Jackie Jack was basically explaining how her prom looked the same exact way. Her prom looked exactly like that, where the black guys, because she said she went to a 95% white school, so we're going to get into that. But she said all the black guys that went to the school, the 5% black that went to the school, the black guys went with non-black women to the prom. And something very interesting that, because we just naturally assumed, okay, the black girls went with white guys, right? Well, no, we found out that they went with nobody. We're going to get into that. We're going to break that down, and we're going to dig and probe a little deeper into all of that. So strap on in. Let's get ready to go. Where's my intro? Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What's up, everybody? We are joined by Jackie Jack. Say hi. Say everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. I knew it was gonna sound weird. All right. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to the early bird squad. Those of you that make it in bright and early. TD Hutch in the building says, "Not Jackie." You saying not Jackie? You don't like Jackie? That's cool. That's cool. Entitled to your preferences. I support your preference to not like Jackie. Jay Moore in the building
Wow.
says where he at. Yeah, I was late. World Free in the building says we're Bernard in my OG voice. Shout out to Just Being Jazzy podcast clips and crafty ideas in the building. Says morning. Ephraim and Kinsey, Toya Toya the Texan, not the tutor.
Hey,
Traveling
Toya.
black man. 01. You graduated 2001. That's what that is, I presume. Ephraim McKenzie back in here. Silent Lamont in the building says, say Bernard like peaches and low down dirty. Silent, you be making jokes that go over people's head, but unfortunately, I know that joke very well
I don't know
because
that
my
joke.
cousins used to kill me with that one. It wasn't how Peaches used to say it. It was hold on. I'm not even about to get the details. My cousins used to kill me with that one. It was yeah. So it's a character in there. It wasn't because Peaches, that was Jada Pinkett character. It was somebody else who used to be like, "Hey, Bernard," in the most gayest way possible. And oh no, it was. Never mind. I don't remember. I just know. I just know. I got a cousin. He lives in Texas right now. It is not it, it is about maybe a 5 to 10% chance when I see him again or talk to him again. It's a small percentage chance he may just be like, "Hey, Bernard," and like it's like the gay dude in that show. So you good, you good. That's a good one. You be making real obscure references, but yeah, it was some gay characters in Low Down Dirty Shame, and one of them name was Bernard, and yeah, yeah, you good, you good, you good.
I
um,
need to watch this movie.
no, you don't. Um, no, Low Down Dirty Shame was good. And Uneducated Lane, behave yourself, behave yourself, behave
Oh my
yourself,
god.
behave yourself. Okay, let's go ahead and get it out the way. Okay, all right, there you go. All right, there you go. All right, there. Okay, y'all saw him. All right, all right. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's go ahead and get into this. We got people coming on in, and like I said in the little pre-ramble before, we got Wayman. That yeah, see, and think that Silent, you be on top of everything, man. Your movie game reference is just is impeccable. Is impeccable. I used to get killed with that. I used to get killed with that by my cousins. Because Bernard, my middle name. So you had to be family to kill me with that one. You had to be family, and they used to tear me up. Well, just one cousin. Every time he would see me, he would greet me. Well, not every time, but enough times. Enough times he would greet me like that. But all right. So we're about to get into this. 101 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. We're about to get into this. The chat came through fast. I didn't get to shout out all the early bird people that made it in.
Hey
Silent threw me.
Brenda.
Silent. Don't. What? Okay. All right. All right. Don't be interrupting me to say hi to the chat when I'm talking. You could just type it into the chat room. All right. Okay. Don't. You already out of line. That's why you ain't have a date to the prom. All right. Let's get into that. So we about to get into that because okay, you went to a school where, and for the few people who don't know the full backstory, Nick Taylor, I do got an idea, got a show idea. I'll be hitting you up for it later on today if I remember. All right. Backstory is this was in the this been the topic going viral. Black Manosphere covered it inside and out. I didn't even know how I was going to cover it, because it ain't really my thing. I wanted to probably interview Pablo or SKC on it, but this ain't really my thing. But a angle to cover it from I guess a more interesting perspective for me came about in my chat room when Jackie was saying that her prom looked exactly like that, and then we got into a few particulars. So we're going to dig into it. We're going to dig into it. So first off, formally welcome to the show, Jackie, even though you interrupted me a few times
Thank
already.
you.
And so formally welcome to the show. You've been on here before. This is the first time one-on-one on a live stream. So you
Yeah,
you
this
you
is
you you, you
exciting.
yeah, you big and important today. You big and important today. Um so let's start right here with just the breakdown and the demographics of your high school, because me and Game Changer had a theory that these guys probably didn't go to a predominantly white school and they probably just outsourced the non-black girls, but you said no, it was more than likely they went to a school with went to a predominantly white school because that's how yours was. So just give a breakdown of the demographics at your school, and then we get further into how all the black boys went with non-black girls, and all the black girls, we know they just got scooped up by all the Chads and Brads. We know that, right? Right?
Well, when when I super chatted, I said it was about like 5% black. It was less than that. Because in my graduating class, it was only like 11 black people and there was 500 students. So it was smaller than I actually thought about. Like it's half that 5%. So yeah, like I said before, the guys they it was mostly like the football players and the basketball players. A lot of them were black. They went with all they went with all white girls. Like my brother, he was on the basketball team and the football team, and his date, and he was a junior. His date was a white girl, so he went to my prom, and he was a junior with a white girl, and I didn't even have a date. So
Okay. All right. So your prom, it was a senior and junior prom. That's different for me because my
yeah,
prom,
yeah.
back many moons ago when I went to the prom, it was just all senior. So it was junior and senior. So you said if it was
Hmm.
um what did you say? You said 11 black people out of 500. That was just your graduating class?
Yeah, am I graduating
Okay,
class?
so
Yes.
theoretically, if it was juniors and seniors there, so it was 20, technically, 20 black people available to go to the prom. Let's just say 10 boys and 10 girls, right?
Yeah, I'd say it's slightly a little higher because my brother's class was a little bigger. So I would say probably like 20 to 30 black people.
Okay, so about 20 to 30 black people. So of the 20 to 30 black people went there, okay, let's just go with 30. And let's just draw it right down the middle, 15 boys, 15 girls. Okay.
Hmm.
So the black boys, they pulled one of these numbers right here. They that's how they went to the prom. All right. That's what you're
They
saying.
did. Yes, yes, that's how. And
They
I wanted to go find some pictures, but I didn't have enough time. And I would have to block out people's faces and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
fair enough. Fair enough.
So
Yeah, I mean, no, it would have been nice. It would have been nice. So, okay, so that's what the boys did. Okay, so quite naturally, and some people in the chat room was saying this, that quite naturally, then the girls there's a equal picture out there of black girls who would have went to the same school here. When we saw this picture, quite naturally it had to be an equal picture. Like those boys, they have, if it's 10 of them, it's 10 black girls who went to the same school. All right. If it's 10 of them,
right.
so it's 10 black girls went to the same school. So quite naturally, somewhere there's a picture just like this with 10 black girls and 10 white guys. Theoretically, that's what a lot of people was going with. A lot of people said that in the chat room. Somebody said that in the comment section. But I was shocked that you say no, that wasn't the case. So what was the case?
The case was like most of the black girls didn't have dates. I would say it was only like one or two black girls that had dates, and they actually went with white guys. But the rest of the girls did not have dates. We just went with each other. Like
Right.
when I was in high school, I had like a mixed group of friends. So I went like one of my friends was Korean, another one of my good friends was white, and then my other good friend, she was black. So we all went to prom together.
Okay. All right. Two questions because this is and I know that. Okay. So I shouted out the two Meghan Markles on the far left that they knew to push them off to the far left. I don't. That wasn't an accident. They was like, we not about to have y'all sort of black girls fucking up the ambiance here, but y'all can get in the picture just off to the left. That was clearly on purpose. So the two black girls that actually went to the prom, did they go? I mean, were they light skinned it?
No, they weren't light skinned.
Okay. All right, cool. No big deal. No big deal. Yeah, I was just curious. Just had to ask. Had
But
to ask.
they had a certain look. Like I remember one of the girls, she looked like a model. She was like really tall and slim. So yeah, she wasn't light skinned. But she was tall and thin, like a model.
Okay, so they went, but then they was if they went excuse me, they was bad. They was for damn sure bad, in other words, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, the other burning question, if the black girls didn't have dates. And I'll give a little backstory to this. All right. The black guys went with non-black girls. So quite naturally, you think the black girls would have went with non-black boys. Quite naturally. All right. You say they didn't. You say they just went by themselves, basically. Okay. Now, what the swirlers would say, and now when I say swirlers, I'm separating that from this divestment movement. I'm talking about Crystalline Karazin. All right. Them divestors is something else. The swirlers, when Crystalline Karazin was the queen of Swirl Mountain, she was actually trying to put on a fake, Hillary Banks, Ashley Banks kind of act. She was actually trying to get them. She was shout out to Game Changer. She was trying to get them to be better bitches. She was trying to build better bitches. She was really trying. She we sit with our ankles crossed and we don't chew gum and we suck on mints and we conduct ourselves a certain way with a certain pristine and she was trying to put on that whole little act to to she was trying to build better bitches for white men. But now these new divestment chicks, they ain't even trying. They behind avatars. They sounding like DMX on the mic. They they sounding like they got diabetes in their throat. Like we ain't never seen them, but they just sound fat, And then the epic image of the black guy, black man swinging from a tree while being hung from a tree while black woman is on a swing. They like horrible individuals. They made us miss Crystal and Karazin. Like that's how bad they are. But Crystal and Karazin, used to always say, "Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated." The argument is that these black men didn't want you, so you need to go with these other men because these other men want you. So the argument was that y'all were all there available and y'all basically wanted to be with black men, or in this case black boys, and y'all were refusing um men, or in this case boys of other races. Y'all were refusing it. Y'all were rejecting it. Y'all were turning it down, holding out for these men who are choosing other women over you. So it was almost, and so the argument was, if they're choosing something else, you have to choose something else. That was the only roadblock, that y'all were making a conscious decision to not go free, but that wasn't the case. So right now under Crystal and Karazin logic, I'm sure you could tell me about all the many Chads and Brads who asked you out and you was just drop kicking them left and right. Correct?
No Chad asked me out.
Really?
Like there was no one from my school that asked me out. I was talking to a guy at another school and he was going to his prom and he made up an excuse that he couldn't go to two proms. And I was like, "Okay, so why can't you invite me to your prom then?"
All
And he was
right.
just like,
Well,
"Oh, I
hold on,
can't
wait.
do that."
Before we get all into that, tell me, yeah, that was personal. You came from a place of hurt right there, and we don't got to talk about it. But but
I did
but no. But what I do want to talk about is, so you're telling me that the 10 to 15 black girls that went to the school that didn't go to the prom because, again, the boys at your school did this. So the girls at your school, they the the view would be that they were rejecting all the other boys that were not black. But you're saying that was not the case. You're saying that
no,
was not the case. They
that
just
was
didn't.
not the case.
They just wasn't asking y'all out. So you telling me no white kid at your school at all
No,
even
not
tried.
even the dorkiest, nerdiest white guy. No, not at all.
Now, what you're saying is flying firmly in the face, firmly in the face of the divester or swirler argument or logic. You know that's fine. GC, why you keep saying upper? What did that mean? Yeah, I'm a little confused by that. All right, real quick. Kevin CHNL in the building said, "Did this nice?" He said, "Does this nice lady personally not have a date, or was it other black girls? And if no, then why did those black guys go on to college? Then why did those black guys go on to college as well? What are them going on to college got to do with them not going? Like, I don't understand that part.
Okay, so he said no, then why? Then there's another question. Did
Did those
those
black
black
guys?
guys
Oh,
like
okay,
go
okay.
to college?
I didn't. Okay,
Yeah.
did they go to college? I guess you can answer that question. That don't sound like a significant question, but he's asking, did they go to
Okay.
college? Answer that one first.
Yeah, the guys, yeah, those guys went to college. They did.
Okay, and to the first one, there's she's saying
No, I
he's
didn't have a date.
no, she didn't have a date. We already established that she didn't have a date, and not all the black boys willfully went out with non-black girls, and apparently, no, none of the boys of other races asked her out, or technically any of the black girls. So there's that. We'll get into that. Crystal and Kerrison had a mixed message, but kept it classy. Oh yeah, of course. I forgot to say that when I gave her a little praise because compared to the divested chick, the the those chicks, she wasn't that bad. But yeah, she was batshit crazy. No denying that. She was batshit crazy. I wouldn't dare deny that. But Game Changer 001 in the building says $2 upper. I don't know what upper means. I don't know why he keeps saying upper.
Yeah, I don't know what that
What
means.
does upper mean? Somebody let me know.
Oh, we already addressed the boobies. Game changer, you're late.
Oh,
Is that what he's talking about?
I think he's talking about I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what he's talking about. But anyway, let me try to move on. Oops. Damn it. My mouse is stuck. Hold on, y'all. My mouse is stuck. I'm trying
Stop
to
the lies.
bring me back on screen, but my mouse is stuck, and we're stuck with just Jackie on
Well,
the screen. I
it's
know
the
this is
Jackie
very
Jack
disappointing.
show. So usually in my show, at this
Okay.
part, I bring
No, no,
out like
okay,
a
no, no, no,
special.
no, 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 no. You no, you ruined it. You ruined it. All right. All right. So he said leave it stuck. All right. Yes. Kristen Hutchinson asked a very important question. Does she have a high school picture? Because they're sitting there trying to figure out, okay, how is it possible that Jackie Jack didn't have a date to the prom? And I don't want to make this all about Jackie Jack having a date or not having a date. I wanted to talk about it more broadly, but that is an elephant in the room. That is an elephant in the room because they're trying to figure out, okay, she must have been a late bloomer because, they
I
like,
was a late bloomer.
you were a late bloomer. Okay. So, all right. So, this is okay. Now I feel bad, but okay.
See,
All right, all right. This okay. There it is. Okay, that's
but now he's trying to embarrass me.
no, I'm not. All right, that's Jackie Jack in high school. I had to bleep out a young picture. I think your little sister. I had to bleep out your little sister. This is that's her brother. Now her brother. Now okay, her brother clearly had all the cool genes. Like
Ugh,
I mean,
this is so embarrassing.
your brother looked like he clearly would have been in this picture. Clearly,
He
all
he
right.
he was.
He clearly would have been in this picture. All right, that, that much is clear. Like your brother got all the cool genetics, and you're a late bloomer, and that's okay. Now I still find it odd for you to not have a date for the prom because her 17-year-old me would have definitely wanted to hit that. However, I don't know if 17-year-old you is necessarily more smashable than them. So I can see why. All right, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm
I
sorry, Jackie. I'm
I
sorry.
hate it here. I hate it here. I hate it
You
here.
you know we got love for you, Jackie. You know we got love for you. But 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 all right.
Somebody said I took a shadow to the prom. Like,
No, that wasn't the prom picture. No, no, no. This one,
don't show it again,
that
please.
one wasn't prom. That was just a regular picture of her and her little sister. I bleeped out her little sister. Bleeped out her little sister. Oh, she bleeped out her little sister. That was her brother was a junior right there. She was a senior right there, and there it was, and and yeah, nobody asked her out to the prom. That just is what it is, and she went with her friend.
Okay, but can we
All right.
explain? Can we explain that my brother was on the basketball team and the football team? He is very popular.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It may game changer with a super chat. He says, "Would you have went to what? Would you
Hmm?
have went with
Who?
game changer? You're gonna have to start behaving yourself. All
Who?
right,
Who? Oh.
you're gonna have to start behaving yourself, game changer. All right.
How did he
I,
look back then? Maybe.
I know you. And yeah, I knew you meant with. I knew you meant with. Um, yeah.
How did he look back
Get
then?
out of. Okay, silence sent a super chat. Uneducated lane says, "Get out of there." All right. Let's see. Silent. He says, "Nice high school photo, and big bro has swag. It's all good." Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Um, Also, I'm trying not to miss any super chats because I'm trying to semi keeping up with them myself. He says he's talking about vitamin D. See, now I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But shout
I
out
know.
to
I know what he's talking about.
what is he talking about?
Good sake. I don't want to zoom in anymore.
Okay. All right. One thing I do want to bring up, and Christian Hutchinson, I don't know if you received my text. I told you to, well, drop it in there because I don't got it copy and paste it like I was supposed to have. But there will be an upcoming event in Detroit for those of us who are in the Detroit area. We are calling it Black Manosphere Meetup Detroit. Now, pump the brakes. This ain't some big event where it ain't a big money event, no big thing, ain't nothing going on. It's just some guys. Oh, thank you, Edmund, for pulling that up right there. But we're gonna get it's not a big event like that. Not a big event like that. It's basically just brothers more or less in the area, Black Manosphere content creators and the subscribers, so to speak, just basically getting together, just meeting up, sort of just hanging out, but networking and talking and getting together, meeting in person. We're going to do something like that every month in Detroit. We're going to do something like that, and I'm going to have the links floating out there. Actually, Christian Hutchinson. I'm counting on him to drop the links for it right now. I'm counting on him to drop the links for it right now because I don't even got it ready to go. So and yes, and y'all can sub to Jackie Jack. There's the link to her channel right there. But
Yes,
Christian,
that's me.
you just ruined everything. All right, that's why you ain't have a date to the prom. No matter what you say going forward, the answer is see. That's why you ain't had no date to the prom. You do. um, but no, it will be a Black Manosphere meetup in it's called Black Manosphere Meetup Detroit, and it's not one of the official things. I just want to make that clear. It ain't one of the big official things with guest speakers and all of that. Um, but I'm going to be dropping the links for it. Okay, there it is. You can go to Eventbrite. Okay, he didn't make it. He didn't exactly make it cute. Maybe RM could copy and paste it and put. Well, okay. I w- yeah, I want you to make it look. I want you to make it look cuter than that. But maybe RM could copy and paste it and then make it put some bells and whistles on it. But See, damn it. Okay, see now already people are already confused. He says Detroit. I thought it was North Carolina. I'm confused. No, I told you this is not the big official thing. Okay, this is not the big official thing. That's something big and official going on next year. This is something going on this month. We're just meeting up. We're just meeting up, just hanging. All right, just meeting up, just hanging. This ain't nothing that big. This ain't nothing that big like that. So all right. All right. And so go to the Eventbrite where Kristen Hutchinson just posted in there. Just go there. We're just meeting up at a place, at a location, at a, a public location, no entry fee, you know. I'm trying to find this stuff right now. I apologize. I don't got it ready to go. But go to click the link that Kristen Hutchinson put in the chat room. Click the link that Kristen Hutchinson put in the chat room, and then that should get you where you need to go. That should get you where you need to go. We'll be talking about that a little bit more, but yeah. So let's get back into it. Let's get back into it. Nuruddin in the building with a $10 super chat says, "Hey Bernard, Miss Jackie, the reason why a lot of these young boys are going with girls of all cultures is because how they were treated in school by the black girls. I saw it myself." Now let's kind of get in. I did want to get into that because I did want to try to unearth the reason why none of the black girls were selected for the prom. Um, would you say there was any ill treatment? Now I know you're gonna say because he said you was a late blooming nerd back then, so of course you and your circle of friends never did anything wrong to no one. But would you say that that was a thing? Because we hear that even at the high school level, that the black girls, just be mean and all of this and all of that, and black boys just ain't going for it. Would you say that was a thing at your high school?
Okay, so let's that's kind of hard to explain because I was a nerd, so I hung out with the people. Nerds are not really mean; they're nice. But there was
Game changer would disagree. He said he's told me before that nerds can be major assholes, and they be asking for it sometimes when they be getting stuffed in the lockers. But anyway,
okay,
carry on,
okay,
carry on with your
okay,
perspective. Carry on with your perspective.
okay. So, well, at my school, it there was like different groups. So there were like popular black people, the nerdy people, and then there was like the really hood people.
Hmm.
So there was a few hood girls that they hung out with all the like lower classmen or whatever, all the hood people. They hung out all together.
Hmm.
So it was different. And basically the guys who were like popular and stuff, they just hung out with the popular people, which was mostly the white people, the white girls. So they hung out with those people, and that's why they dated each other. It was just because it was in different groups. A lot of the black people in the black girls were kind of in the hood sector, because I was like only one of the smart black girls in the nerdy
Are you saying
sector.
it's almost like you saying the black girls were hood, but the black boys wasn't, or you're saying it was okay for the black boys to be hood?
It was okay for the black boys to be hood because they were popular. It was like they were like the basketball players and the football players. So them being kind of hood was like cool. So it made them
Yeah,
popular,
you
but
can, as a
they're
man, you can be hood and carry it in a masculine way. It's hard to carry being hood in a feminine way. So I do see how the boys could be, a little hood, but still be, cool and attractive. But at a predominantly white school, black girls being on the hood side, yeah, that's dead in the water.
yeah, and it was strange because it was a school like in the suburbs. So it's like these these girls are like deliberately trying to be, I guess we would call it ratchet now. They were deliberately trying to be ratchet, and they live in the suburbs. Like the school I went to, these kids' parents are like rich. I wasn't rich. I just went there for another reason. But the other black kids, they lived in the area. They was just those girls and some of the guys were just deliberately being hood to, I guess, to stay black. I don't know.
they they
I
was
don't know what it was.
they was trying to keep their blackness, so they
Yeah,
had to they had
exactly.
to they had to ratchet it up and be hood. They tried to, they go into that all white school. You know how it is when when you moving out the hood. So it's always somebody there like, hey, stay black. That's what it
Exactly.
was.
So they went extra hard. They had like little gangs. It's like this is the suburbs. Like they had gangs with other people from different schools. It was really weird. And
These
I
were the
was
black
actually
girls. These were the black girls and black boys.
yeah, and it was very strange because I was actually from a place where it wasn't it wasn't nice to be. And I was wondering why they were acting like they was from they were
Yeah.
acting like they was from the hood. So it was always just strange to me. I'm like, I don't get this. We know where y'all live. You live in a 5 bedroom house over there. Like, why are you acting like this? So it was strange. And it was the guys and the girls, but like the girls couldn't pair off acting like that. But the guys, they could.
Gotcha. Okay, RM made it look cute. All right, yeah, I see it right there. Says, hang out with Bernard Riley and a few fellow Black Manosphere bros at Barcode for games and drinks September 19th, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. No cover fees. More info here at Eventbrite. Yes, we are having an event, and as I said, a little event, not a big shindig like the Black Manosphere meetup. We're loosely calling it Black Manosphere Meetup Detroit. Something we're going to try to do every month, just for Black Manosphere content creators and the subscribers. Just get together, hang out, network, the whole works. That's more or less what we're doing. Thank you, RM, for putting that in full grown-up sentences for me to read it and make it sound like it makes sense. Thank you. Yeah, so that's what's going on. Click that. If you're in the area, don't catch a flight just to hang out at Barcade with us. No, don't do that. I wouldn't. I got to drive an hour to get there, and that's a lot. But so yeah, don't be catching flights to just come hang out. But all right, Demac the trucker says Jackie Jack went to school with Woe Vicky. But
Who's Lil Vicky?
you don't know who Woe Vicky is? Wow, you missed a whole era
No.
of internet. So the white kids that went there, they you said they was like, sort of rich kids, not rich kids, but just better off, middle to
Yeah,
upper middle class.
upper middle class. Yeah, like
Okay, so
everybody senior year had their own car,
mhm.
and well, it's in the South, so like a cool car would be like F F-150 or something like that. Like the because it's in the South, and it's white. It's some white boys. They drive those kind of like Jeeps and F-150s, so they have nice cars. And everybody in senior year like never rode the bus because they all had cars. So
All
it was
right.
that type of school.
All right. Now, one thing that I'm curious about now, I'm assuming the boys that you went to high school with, that you know, given these modern times. Okay, what year did you graduate? You scared to give your
2000,
age? I'm just playing. Go ahead.
2006.
1997? No, okay. All right, so 2006. All right, so you graduated in 2006. So the same thing that we're seeing in this viral photo that's been all over the place. It's been going on for a while. I think Mad Bus Driver, he was in the most wonderful time of the year. But I think every year for like the last few decades, it's been a couple decades or so, it's been pictures like this. It's just the internet is spreading it out more every time
Hmm.
prom season come around, that you see pictures like that. So anyway, when you say you graduated 2006, okay, so you graduated right around the social media boom, or a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
after. So that means everybody is easy to keep in touch with. Now, I said on my show the other day that these boys are not ideologically interracial dating or nothing like that. They just went to a predominantly white school and they just rocked with whoever, they just rocked with the best looking, nicest women that they could possibly, girls that they could possibly get. All right. That's just simply what it was. And then people were basically trying to, apply SYSBM manosphere isms and schisms to it. And I was like, no, it's a little simpler than that. And so, but what would you say? I mean, because seeing as you graduated right around the time, I think Facebook started in 2004, Instagram probably 2006. So you graduated right around the time where everybody who went to high school can keep up with each other. So your
Mhm.
graduating
Mhm.
class who had the snowfall prom, you know, they okay, so where they at now? I mean, it's been time. Y'all in y'all early to mid 30s now. So I mean, hey, they married off to non-black women, right?
No, it's not. It's
No.
not that. No. I was actually surprised. Like most of them married black women, or you know, had babies with black women. Yeah, I would say only about like 15% or 10% of them like stayed with non-black women, but the rest of them they went on to just marry and date black women. So it was really interesting because my brother for the longest he dated like white girls even into college, but after college he for some reason he just stopped dating them. So it was I think it's because the college he went to was mostly white people too. So it's just really the people that were around. But yeah, after college, he stopped dating white girls too. It was
Was it like
I thought he was
okay?
gonna
What
end up with one.
would you say it was a deliberate stop? Like he ideologically stopped doing it, or was it just a proximity stop where, like you said, your school was roughly 95% white? He went to a PW, a
I
predominantly white
PWI.
institute. Yeah, PW. What is it? PWI. I forget the names of shit. So he
Yeah.
went to a predominantly white university or whatever, and so I mean, so from I guess from freshman year of high school all the way to senior year in college, that I mean he was caught in a snowstorm. All right. he was he was caught in a snowstorm. But after the snowstorm, thank you, Hoop Jargon, PWI. I'm tripping. But after the snowstorm, you saying that he didn't necessarily ideologically start dating black girls, that he more or less
No,
just
actually, it was
dated
both.
who was there.
It was both because he kind of turned like pro black. Like
Mm.
it was really strange. He would be saying stuff, and I'm like, what? We went to school with all white people, and all of a sudden it was like there's like issues with white people. And I'm just like, but
Oh.
we went to school with all white people. What are you talking about? It's like half of your friends from high school were white. Like, what's going on?
So he making all this, he making a bunch of fight the power statements and all of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it was
And
weird.
oh, so okay. Now that's interesting. That's interesting because I ended up arguing on the last show, and I was just kind of spitballing, just shooting from the hip. I didn't know this, but I was looking at it from a perspective that they're not ideologically interracial dating, and the with the popular picture that's going viral or whatever. Some type of ideology about interracial dating or not interracial dating, that normally doesn't come into later to when you start getting close to 30, you start developing those ideas, or they could brew up in college if you take some black studies class or something like that. Those ideas can brew up there, but you're saying that, and this is the SYSBM interpretation to it would be the gynocratic, maybe I don't know if they use gynocratic, the plantation programming sets in, and then they go running back, so to speak. It's like, do you think would you analyze it like that? But I don't even know if
I
that's
don't know. I
I don't
don't
I don't
think
hold on
that's
real quick. I
it.
don't even know if that's accurate, because they weren't dating white girls for ideological reasons, so it wasn't like
Yeah.
they're running back for ideological reasons unless they got a very specific, pro blackness in them that, then you could say that. But overall, what would you say to that? What would you say it is that sends them back? Because I'm going to assume it's not just because black women start treating them so much better.
Well, that it's funny. It's funny you say that because most my brother he kind
I'm
of
sorry.
he
I don't
kind
mean to laugh so hard on that one. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I need some water or coffee. I choked myself with that one. All right. We back. We back.
no, I
Okay.
get a good laugh out of it too because I'm like, dang, you rejected me, and now y'all got awful wives and baby mamas. But so I get a good laugh out of it
Oh,
too.
you trying to get them a little revenge, huh? Little you watching them on social media complaining about their baby mamas, and you having a little revenge porn on Facebook, huh? That's what's going on there. Like, yeah, you rejected me in high school. Now look at you.
So
Wow.
yeah, I get a good laugh out of it. Y'all say I have a Marvel origin story, so
You do you got
I
the
get a good laugh out of it.
yeah. You got the same Marvel origin story of one of the swirlers. I mean, one of the divestment chicks. I'm shocked you ain't over there on the divested zealot channel cutting up. You got the same Marvel origin story. But all right, let's so anyway, what was I think I asked you a question and I start clowning. What was we talking about?
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, well, my brother, he's like really cool with like most of those black guys or whatever. And he be telling me stories about all the issues they be having with their girls and their baby mamas. I'd be like, oh, really? Okay. And then sometimes I occasionally see them and then they're complaining about their girls or their baby mamas. Like, oh, okay. Interesting. I'm like, why don't you just go with the route you were going in high school? It was shocking actually after high school. I'm like, this is interesting. And then they start having all their problems. And I'm like, I wonder why they went because I don't even have an answer why they went back to black. I just remember my brother like one day being all like pro black and I was like, huh? I don't understand this. I don't get
Mm.
it. So I don't know why they all went back to black, but most of them did. And I was just looking on Facebook of how, because a lot of his friends they went on a cruise together and they brought like their significant other, and I was like, dang, all their significant others are black except for I think it was like one of them. He had a white girl, and that was it. I was like, oh, look how much has changed in the last few years.
He's saying, did they reject her or just not approach? Well, from the woman's perspective, I'll let her answer. But from a woman's perspective, not approaching is a rejection because they're technically not supposed to approach. They're just supposed to sit there with their fingers crossed and try to look cute. And they apparently communicated they didn't think she was cute. Um,
Okay, so there was one guy in high school that liked me, and but he ended up moving junior year. So the one guy, oh, and there was another guy because
oh,
Hurricane Katrina happened, and a whole bunch of people from Louisiana came. He just liked that I was thick, so he was from Louisiana,
we saw the
New
pictures. You
Orleans.
wasn't thick in high school unless they called that thick back then.
No, I was thicker than that. I had lost weight by our senior year, but
Oh, you lost weight in the senior year. Okay, all right.
yeah, yeah. So I was bigger than that, but he was from New Orleans. He loved that I was thick, but he had moved off. He moved too by that time. So.
Okay, all right. But shout out to James Wingate. I'm sorry I missed some of the super chats. I apologize. James Wingate sent two of them. My bad. My bad. My bad. Man, you can click on them. You can click on them and bring them up if I'm forgetting them. James Wingate says, I live outside a major banking city. in I guess that's North Carolina. Most high schools in area are mixed unless ghetto area, and they clearing them out. That prom picture is everywhere now. You notice never see the black woman slash white man prom
You good?
prom photo. Excuse me, I'm good. Yeah, I mean, you actually do see them. You just don't see them as much. And I think what she's explaining from her prom is part of the deal. When the black guys go with somebody else, again, the argument that the Crystal and Karazins of the world would try to lead us to believe is that they are essentially rejecting everybody of a different race. But Jackie Jack is more or less confirming that nah, they did. The other races wouldn't try, and they wouldn't. Yeah, they went checking for them. The black girls went to the prom by themselves. That's what Jackie Jack is more or less confirming. But thank you for that super chat. Appreciate that. Apologize to those of you who super chats I missed. I'm catching up with them right now. James Wingate in the building says, I am calling Cap the nerdy girls any race still got attention. Yeah, I don't agree. I agree. Being nerdy wasn't the problem. Being nerdy wasn't the problem. Um,
Yeah.
it could be it could be a problem when it comes to you getting getting dick offered to you like fast, quick, in a hurry. But as far as attention and guys trying to get at you, it wasn't nerdiness. But anyway, let me just read the super chat before we respond to it. It says, I am calling Cap the nerdy girl any race still got attention from nerdy boys and non-nerdy. He said regular guys, but yeah, non-nerdy regular guys. Okay. She had guys like her. She had guys like her, not the ones she wanted. BS, BS. All right, let's go down that. Let's go down that rabbit hole. There was guys that was checking for you. They just wasn't the ones you wanted because you wanted You wanted the basketball team. You wanted the 6'8" center of the basketball team who got 3 dunks per game. That's who you wanted. And if he wasn't checking for you, then you just decided you'd go by yourself in protest. And then, yeah, go your response.
uh, okay. My response is I wouldn't have turned down a date unless it was like somebody who they're just like completely socially awkward. I wouldn't have turned down a date with just a normal person. So
Okay.
that's my answer. I wouldn't have turned down a date. I was really
Hmm.
sad that I didn't have a date. So like I wouldn't have turned down the date. And then like I explained before, oh, it was weird because in my school, in most of my classes, I was like the only black person in my class because I was like in a lot of advanced classes. So if it was a nerdy guy, it would have to be a nerdy white guy but he would just pick the nerdy white girl. So why would he pick me?
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
you couldn't back when you were, you know, a lame black chick. You couldn't outcompete the lame white girls for the lame white guys.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
bad. That's bad. Okay, so for those of you who are looking at her right now, fully developed
Don't
and
do
late
it again.
bloomed, we have to do it, or the integrity of my show is compromised if I don't show the picture of what you look like back then. I just can't have you sitting here with titties everywhere and they calling Cap, and then now my show is compromised. No, I got to show. Okay, that's what you looked like back then. All right, there you see it. All right. That was her at the prom. That was her brother who got all the cool jeans. He was a junior, she was a senior. It was a junior senior prom. He went with a white girl. She went with nobody. That's what happened. All right. Yeah, I can see what she looked like. She didn't look
But
bad.
why do you have to embarrass me like
She didn't
this?
look bad, but she don't look better than them. All right. So, but right,
Exactly.
but right now you're giving them a run though. Right now you're giving them a run. But anyway, all right. So we back. Okay, we had to clear that up so they won't think I'm up here just bullshitting. Just found a bullshit interview. But all right.
So,
All right. So
wait, Jackal said he would have smashed. Okay. Like,
somebody said they would have make sure that you say when I showed you a picture of 17-year-old Jackie, make sure you saying you would have smashed when you were 17. Okay. Just make sure you include that into the sentence. When I was 17, I would have smashed. That's there. Okay. Anybody in there saying I'd hit that, period, at the end of the sentence? No. You can't do that, okay? That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works, okay? All right. So let's see what else we got in here as far as the super chats. Nerdine back in the building says, Miss Jackie Jack, I let the girls, he says, I let the girls know stop being, they thought I was, stop being, they thought I was, I think he means stop being mean. They thought I was joking until they saw boys with Latinas, Brazilians. You talking about high school kids with Brazilians? Like Nerdine, your stories, it just, okay. Are you talking? Are you still talking about the middle school boys and the high school boys? Brazilians and busty
Where's
babies
he
out. That's
from?
when the girls called the boys race traitors. Like he's saying girls and boys, so I'm assuming he's still talking about high school kids, but he's talking and he's mixing it with Brazilians.
Well,
Okay.
where is he from? Maybe they have a lot of.
America.
No,
Like,
I'm like in America.
yeah, okay. I found it quite interesting that the girls called the boys race traitors when these were the same boys they didn't want in the first place. But we finding out is something sort of different than that. That the well, from Jackie Jack's perspective, from her story, it wasn't that that they didn't want the boy in this situation. Because like, okay, I keep re-showing the picture, but in Jackie Jack's situation, it wasn't like it was nerdy boys that wasn't that the black girls didn't want. It was like those. That's probably the basketball team or football team or something like that. That's basically what she was saying. It was like cool boys that played basketball, that played sports, and was popular that didn't really want the black girls. And then the argument goes, okay, then those girls, those black girls, they should get with boys of different races, but the boys of different races wasn't checking for them either. So they were just ultimately left standing when the music stopped. That was essentially what it was. Now, I did try to, and I tried to scratch beneath the surface on, okay, was these chicks just mean and out of pocket? And she did confirm that, yes, there was a certain amount of ratchetness that was going on where these black kids who grew up in a suburban area was still trying to be hood, trying to stay black with the fist in the air. They trying to stay black and everything. And they ultimately, being like I said, being hood and rugged, you can pull that off as a guy and still look masculine. You can't look feminine and attractive while being, hood as a chick. So hood don't look good on chicks. It can look good on a guy. It don't look good on chicks. So that's my theory as to, why they weren't checking for the black girls. And but that don't necessarily explain Jackie, but situation. But anyway, Jackie's retro in the building. He said, did they reject her? Or oh wait, I already read that one. Kevin C says the black guys were not deadbeats and went on to college. They were dealing with non-black girls as teens and are likely future successful men. Hashtag Becky wins. I don't know what context of what part of the show you exactly talking about or responded to right there, but shout out to you. Do appreciate it. James Wingate with another one. He says black men who did pro-black movements in 90s and 2000s getting the justice the justice dessert. Now crazy baby mama and ex-wife drama. Now I just laugh at them in the barbershop. Apparently Jackie be laughing at them on
I
Facebook
laugh
too.
at them too.
She laughed at them on Facebook too because they weren't checking for her back when she was in her not quite she's a late bloomer, so they weren't checking for her back then. So yeah, when she see them on Facebook talking about their baby mama drama, she just enjoying all the sweet revenge porn. So yeah.
No, it's been a few years though because I don't even get on Facebook anymore. But yeah, I used to enjoy it when I was on there.
Nick Taylor says, as a nerd slash preppy in Detroit, what happened is I was also a starter on the football team. Nerdy girls weren't with it, but the regular girls were. Interesting. Ancient Man in the building says, I'm in GA, and I was talking to a talking to a young brother, and he was a nerdy athletic dude, but he had a hot white girl in high school.
Mhm.
And oh, wait, let me read that again. Okay. I'm in GA, and I was talking to a young brother. He was a nerdy athlete. Look, this whole thing that about nerdy and athletic, like they're like a video game. You can be one or the other. Like, no, it's a lot of guys who are both. I know when I went to high school, when I was a junior, the seniors, the quarterback of the football team, who was also the starting power forward of the basketball team, I think he had close to a 4.0, and it was a lot of, some of the starting running back, the starting, two of the starting linebackers, the best defensive linemen, they were all, honor roll students. Like, they weren't nerdy, and they were nerdy in the sense that they got good grades, and that's it. Like, so yeah, they can be athletic and smart. It's a thing. But athletic dude, but he had hot white girl in high school, and now at 21, he has a hot nurse white girlfriend. It's happening. Sunny's hot round the building with a $10 super chat. Ask her, what does she think of the idea that just because a person regrets their dating decisions later in life doesn't mean they regret rejecting you in their early years? You can go ahead and answer that one.
Oh, I don't think they regret rejecting me. I think
Yeah.
they regret not continuing dating white girls.
I think that's a good one. That was well put. That was well put. Noradine in the building says, I live in New York City where at every culture is I live in New York City where at every culture is here. So the boys got a taste of it and didn't look back. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that.
Okay, that's why he see Brazilians and all like the Latinas because he was in New York.
I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works. If you didn't pass all your classes, you could not play. Yeah, that was a thing too when I was in high school. But, well, we had to have at least a 2.0. That wasn't a high hurdle. But you had to have at least a 2.0. If you didn't have a 2.0, you could not play sports. You could not play sports. That keeps the utter and complete school skipping dummies off of the basketball team. You know, who's just there just to play basketball. Like, no, you gotta show up and do the basic minimal. You got to show up and do the basic minimal. Like, that's pretty much what and how it was. But all right, thank you everybody who's super chatting, and RM dropped that link once again to that to the meetup. Oh, there it is right there. Now, keep in mind, as I said again, this isn't some official Black Manosphere meetup thing. I think that's going down next year in North Carolina. This is more like she put hangout. We like loosely calling it Black Manosphere Meetup Detroit, but this is something loose. It's coming up this month, you know. But just to read what it says right there, hang out with Bernard Riley and a few fellow Black Manosphere bros at Barcade, Detroit for games, drinks, September 19th, December 19th, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. No cover fees. More info here at Eventbrite. That's Christian Hutchison who's setting all that up and organizing that. So shout out to Christian Hutchison, definitely a good brother who's just trying to just organize something for people who, Black Manosphere content creators and the subscribers in this area get together, hang out, talk, network. Real simple, real laid back, not some big formal thing with guest speakers or none of that. Not the big formal event that when Theo put his money behind it, it's a whole nother thing. This ain't that. This ain't that. This is something smaller. We just getting together. If you're in the Detroit area, come through, hang out. That's more or less all this is. So definitely come through. Click the link right there on Eventbrite, and yeah, come through, check it on out. Come through, check it on out. And shout out to Kristen Hutchison for having the wherewithal to do that. I hope it happens in more or less every city, every well, I think somebody pointed out it's only like 10 major cities where like 60 to 65% of all black people in America reside. I think in all those major cities, you could probably do something like that monthly for Black Manosphere, black manosphere, content creators and subscribers, get together network. So I think is a good thing. I think is a good thing, has a good potential. I'd like to see everybody doing it, but you do know that's a difference from the actual formal official annual events. Those are different. Those will be something different. That quit down your head. You know what we're talking about. You're a woman. Okay, I get. I don't know why. I don't know why I be bullying you. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna
You
stop. I'm
do.
gonna stop. I'm gonna stop bullying you. I'm gonna stop
It feels
bullying you.
like high school over again.
Oh, you was getting stuffed in your locker. Oh,
I wasn't getting bullied in high school. I'm just messing.
you're just getting ignored.
Exactly.
You wasn't getting bullied. You were just getting
I
ignored,
wasn't.
and that was worth you. That was worse. You would have rather got stuffed in your locker because then you would have had some human interaction, and it would have been okay. I'm just playing.
Are
All
you
right.
are you trying to turn me into a villain or something?
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to add to your Marvel origin story. All right. Okay. All right. James Wingate says, listen, white women love football and basketball. They are better talent scouts than anyone. That is why you see them with black men at draft time. One would say opportunist. And that's one interpretation of that.
Right.
I'm not, I'm not, I'm objective and I keep it real. Let's not make it seem like they're just so dutiful and college age, picking an athlete who's projected to be a first round NFL draft pick. Let's not make it seem like that's an easy horse to bet on.
Right.
And they, when they pick the square kid that they see studying real hard, going for a PhD that's 8 years down the road, then I could say, she she thinking ahead right there. But if they go and get with 6'6", 250-pound, run like a horse, jump out the gym, Jamal, yeah, that's a pretty easy bet. That's a pretty easy bet. All right, let's not overrate them. Now and say, they picked a square dude who's studying. Hey, I give him props for that. But all right, quit nodding your head. Quit nodding your head. All right. I'm Leo. All right. They are better talent scouts than anyone. That is why you see them with black men at draft time. SYSBM and passports change the game. Some black men get upset seeing mulatto kids.
Mm,
That's a weird one.
mm.
I don't know about. I see weird stuff on the internet. It's some stuff that people say that I'd be like, nah, that ain't a thing. But then when I look on the internet, I'd be like, oh, okay, there's somebody that fits that description. Sir Tyson in the building, he says there was a catch to the 2.0 thing though. The dudes often took general math, basic English. Yeah. Oh yeah. They worked around it. Sir Tyson in the building says, I was in Detroit the last 3 weeks and y'all do this now. Sorry, man. Sorry. Sorry. We it'll be every month though. It'll be every month. Not nothing really formal. Nothing really formal. Just getting together. Right now it's at the barcade spot and just going there, hanging out. If you're in the Detroit area, come through. So if you're in Detroit again, you know the deal. Uncle Stu, the old man on the block, coming through, dropping $2 on it. Shout out to Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. Appreciate you. All right, we may open this bad boy on
Oh
up.
God.
No, I don't think this is gonna be a wild one. I don't think I don't at least I don't foresee this being a wild one. I don't. We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. We shall see. All right. Shout out to that brother P that in the building. Says white chicks are shameless in their hypergamy and bandwagoning. They pounce on bright and shiny objects like cats on a mouse. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
I
smart.
mean,
That's smart.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's smart. I mean, we gotta call it. We gotta give it that. I mean, you
Cause
know what,
are we
Nate?
light skin friendly today? I don't know that.
Are we light skin friendly? I don't. Yeah, what you mean?
today. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. But the link in the chat. Shout out to Keep It 100. Shout out to Keep It 100. It says, I know non-black men who are geeky as fuck that got attractive girlfriends, and these are not rich men. Yeah, yeah. It's been more or less proven. People could debate it all they want, but yeah, other women at a higher percentage rate, I'll say that, other women at a higher percentage rate will pick, choose, and select uh men, or put a higher premium on, a man's competence, character, and all of that type of stuff. And so, yeah, yeah, they'll put a higher premium on that. But we are joined by uh, game changer in Christian Hutcherson in the building. And shout out to Christian Hutchins, the thing that I've been doing a botch job at advertising. You can speak on it real quick. The de facto, loosely calling it Black Manosphere Meetup Detroit.
Yeah.
This is a very, informal thing that we're getting together. So you go ahead and speak on that. It was your idea. Just get brothers, content
Yeah.
creators and subscribers in the Detroit area, which we are, to just come together and hang. Come together, hang,
Yeah.
network. So yeah, go ahead and talk about that real quick.
Yep. Yeah. So thanks for having me up, Bernard. Yep. So this is just simply we're calling it Black Manosphere Monthly Meetup Detroit. Black Manosphere Monthly Meetup Detroit. The idea is we're going to meet once a month. We're going to try to do Mondays, hang out. We're going to Barcade. It's basically a bar with the arcade. So they have 4-player Simpsons. They have NBA Jam. They have Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Pac Man,
Yeah, I don't
all the
think you
games.
gotta call off the games they got. It's like
Okay.
the fact like a lightweight Damon Busters, damn near. All right,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
But they have alcohol, which people who know me, they know I like alcohol. So I'll
He's a
so
wild boy. So, go ahead.
so we're just gonna hang out. I go to a monthly real estate thing, and it's just like it's very informal. Just talk, hang out, chit chat. People get to know each other offline in real life. So that's what it basically is. So um, that's what it is. So then Jackie Jack, hell, how you doing today?
Hey, how are you
Doing
doing?
good. So funny enough, I went to a predominantly white high school that was fairly affluent, and that picture that they are showing on the thing, that was our that was the same thing it was at our high school. So I played football, basketball, and track in high school. I was on all the varsity teams, even though I'm short. I'm only 5'7", and it was same thing. Again, now on my side, the guys married out at a fairly high rate. Much high. Now, I think you're in the Atlanta area, so that probably has something
Yeah,
to do
I
with it.
am.
I would say. Uh, so that may have influenced it. Now I can say that my people that I know that if they did not meet their girlfriends, if they did not meet their wives in college, then they reverted back to dating black women. And so this is what I think what happens. So there's actually a study that Northwestern University did about 7 years ago now. And they did a study of middle class and upper middle class black families in Chicago on the North Shore. If people are familiar with that, if you guys know the movies Ferris Bueller's Day Off and all those movies that were about the Chicago suburbs back in the 80s by, is it John Hughes? That's where those took place. It was in the northern Chicago suburbs. It's on the North Shore. So that's Winnetka, Evanston, all those sort of places. What they found out was they tracked the black families, and what they did was they noticed a trend. The black boys dated and married out at very high rates to non-black women, and the black girls did not. And so they dug into this because they studied these families over about 20-year time frame, and what they found was for the black girls when they were in these schools, in these affluent white high schools, the black girls necessarily did not integrate themselves into the culture of the school necessarily, while the black boys oftentimes they did things such as engage in sports, band, choir, things like that. And that integrated them into the larger structure of the school. And if they just being involved in those things, whether they excelled or not, that put them in front of other types of people. And then that's who they ended up marrying and dating. Now, there's a second layer to this is imagine if you're a black family in these neighborhoods, you're from a two-parent household. Most likely your dad is a fairly functional person. My dad was an engineer. One of my buddies I grew up with, his dad was a vice president of a furniture company. Like there's these guys are, these are men who are fairly high functioning. And so what happens is, I think there's a level of isolation. So the boys, they see their dad as a high functioning man and they want to emulate their father, while the girls, they look at it as when they go and deal with their the black girls outside of their sphere, they are looked at a certain way because they're not living like they are, compared to, for me, when I would go into like a non-black situation, if I go into an area of poor black people when I was growing up, the thing that I could integrate myself into them with was I played football, I played basketball, I was good at those things. So that's how I got my respect. So even though they made fun of me for having a white voice or living around white people, when I'm dropping threes on them or crossing them over, we're all equal on the court. For the black girls, they don't have that. They don't have that thing.
Hold on, real quick. Game changer. That's what it sounds like when a nerdy sounding black guy gets the basketball lingo correct. All right. Game changer be trying to do sports analogies and be mixing it up and be getting it all wrong. He
He
actually got it
does.
right.
It's funny.
No,
He,
no,
he, he got it
yeah,
right. Okay,
yeah,
he's legit.
yeah. No. Trust me. You guys don't want to know. I can run down the court. The people I've been on the court with in games. I mean, a lot of these guys are not around anymore. But if you're in Michigan, it's the who's who of basketball from about 1997 to 2006. I probably played with all of them. So I'm just going to put it out there.
Cool.
Not that anyway, so that's the equalizer. And so what ends up happening is, what I noticed in my high school, the black girls, one thing is, a lot of times if the girl was there, she might have been one of your buddy's sisters. And of course, that's always awkward, right? Messing with one of your buddy's sisters. But one of the biggest issues was, when I was in high school, was the guys that I was on freshman basketball or JV football or whatever it was, we were just on freshman JV. The girls, they would go mess with, for all intents and purposes, they were messing with guys who were in Pontiac or Southfield, Lathrop, Southfield High, things like that. They wouldn't come to the games when we were playing like a school in Warren or something like that. They would only come when we were playing a majority black school. They would all get their hair done and they would go sit on the other side and everything. It was like really weird. And we would just be like, okay. And then they would see we were good. They're like, oh, Chris, you're actually good at basketball. It's like, yeah, but it's funny that 2,400 white people know I'm good at basketball, but the 25 black girls at the school don't realize I'm good at basketball. And the way that they find out I'm good at basketball is one of their friends, a black guy at another school, is like, oh yeah, you know Christian Hutchinson? Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, he goes to my school. Man, I was playing against him. Man, he was killing me a couple weeks ago. That's what happens. And so it makes this weird dynamic of, they don't even acknowledge you in your
He does make a good point about like the girls. They did, like, at our school we had like a adjacent like kind of high school that was mostly black, and like most of the black girls at my school, they would hang out with the people at that school instead. And like when we played against them, that's when they would go to the games. Like I would go to all the games, like all the football games, because my
Yeah,
brother
because your
was
brother
on the
was
team.
playing. Yeah, because your brother was playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would go to all the games, like everywhere, but they would only go to certain, when we played against certain schools that's like mostly black. So he made a good point. Like they weren't really trying, they were trying to get with the people at other schools, the
Yeah,
other guys
because
at other schools.
they look at it as, again, that's a cultural thing. Because again, is if my dad's an engineer, my buddy's dad's a lawyer, my other buddy's dad's a vice president of a furniture company. One guy, his dad was high up at Nextel. I mean, talk about a throwback. I mean, these are the guys that you're going to school with, and we're just at a predominantly white high school, but we're playing basketball, we're playing football, baseball, running track, whatever. That's what we're doing. The girls, they weren't necessarily doing comparable things. I think we, like, for instance, we had a top cheerleading team in the state. Like they won like 6 state championships in a row or something crazy like that. I think there was like 2 black girls on the squad. Now, one girl, she wasn't pretty. No one would want to talk to her. She's married now and everything. She got married a couple years ago. But then there's one, and guys used to run into us in college like, you guys had this one girl. She's a doctor now, And I remember our dads were trying to put us on this girl when we were in high school. Like, you all need to talk to this girl. And we were like, oh, I don't know. She doesn't look that good. And we saw her like 4 or 5 years after high school. And yeah, she was very pretty. And she was going to medical school and everything. And our dads would make fun of us. Like, we had barbecues or something like that. See, y'all should have talked to her. And now, she got with some guy and who's very successful. So, I mean, it's on both sides too, but there was two black girls on the cheerleading team. One was and the other one was, but that one black girl, she would date white guys too. So, she was attractive girl. But looking back at it, she was attractive. But when you're in high school, you're factoring in status and popularity and different things like that. In terms of the cheerleaders, she was a mid-grade cheerleader.
True. That is a huge factor. A woman's status in high school does go a long way, because
Oh
you want to
shoot,
have
y'all couldn't. Oh damn, y'all couldn't hear me. I was muted. No, wait, hold on 1 second. I got you, GC. Real quick. Soros in the building. He says, "Everyone, do not let Bernard drink too much. Last meetup, he was standing on tables, swinging his coat around. Nah, I'm joking. Support. That was actually Christian Hutchinson. Real talk. That was actually Christian Hutchinson. No Excuse Entertainment said a lot of black women don't integrate / conform to the dominant culture, especially in corporate America and PWIs. They tend to keep themselves or they tend to keep to themselves or intentionally be different. Ex, black men will cut their dreads or beards. Black women won't cut their beards. Okay, interesting. Sir Tyson the building says one word. Negroes love hearing the stereotypes, but then hate when the negative ones are used against them. You can't play because you speak clearly. Who thinks that? But low IQ types. Yeah, no, that's a very, very, very true statement. Very true statement. That they will pin stereotypes on other black people. Say you can't do this because you are this, but then when somebody does that to them, they blow a gasket. But Kevin C in the building says Chris is proving my points with his data and experience. White girls get the high functioning black males early, while black girls ignored these guys. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you to everybody supporting the stream. Appreciate each and every one of you. All right. Shit. Hold on. Almost missed this one. Okay. Wait, did I already? Oh shit, y'all coming through too much. Hold on.
That's new. That one's new.
That's a new one. Okay. White women get them when he is a freshman. Then someone hang out around medical engineering tech and lawyer. What is that? Lawyer. I don't. What is that? B. Is that BID? Building. Okay, lawyer building to get those long-term six-figure black men. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Ryan Decipher in the building says, don't let the glasses and proper speech fool you. Christian can throw down that night at Obsidian's meetup. Oh boy, he says, good times.
It took me 6 years. Took me 6 years to graduate college for a reason.
Yeah. Go ahead. Oh shit. And Machismo TV in the building says, good stream. Says black women not socialized to find husbands. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. All right, go ahead, GC. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Okay, thanks. To Machismo TV, I don't know if it's a matter of. I think that they just have a bad overall strategy. The overall strategy probably comes from lack of historical experience and attempting to find a higher value guy. For a large portion of their history, for the most part, they just really didn't exist. So, they don't, where white women in this country alone have been doing it for hundreds of years. Black women probably only had the opportunity to do it for maybe like 60 or 70 years. So they just don't have that factor to where, their great grandmother, who was with this plantation owner taught, the mama how to, the great grandmother how to seduce high value men. But one of the things that's obvious that I noticed that they don't get is black women have a tendency to want to buy a lottery ticket after it's scratched. And it's not going to work. It don't cost $1 at that point. Like once the ticket is already scratched, you can't say, "Oh, here's $1. I'll buy that ticket." It doesn't work that way. You can't do that at that point. You actually have to invest in a person's potential, and with any investment, there's risk, and they don't want that risk. They want to get the basketball player, not the basketball phenomenal in high school. So it's very bad mating strategy. Also, another bad mating strategy that Black women do, which generally makes them horrible at it, is they try to make as much money as they possibly can and then double it through marriage. That is the game that they play. So they stay off the market in their younger years, hoping that one day that they will make six figures. And then when they do, like, okay, now that I have six figures, and I'm less hot than I was when I was younger, but now that I have six figures, I deserve six figures. That's stupid. And you shouldn't do that for several reasons. For one, you're going to be perpetually waiting because you're always going to assume that next year you're going to make more money than this year. So there isn't going to come a point where you just feel comfortable and like, oh, I'm going to double it now, so that works against you. And another thing that works against you is your value hasn't increased. Just because you make $100,000, like look at average at best, doesn't mean that your vagina is worth that. It doesn't. And in her case, it most certainly isn't. That's why it's empty. So it's problematic in that sense. They haven't really developed an effective mating strategy. Now, as far as the word upper goes, so upper is in reference to when we were talking about the therapist, how much her titties sagged. So she had significantly low hanging titties. And I was saying that women like her should get it upper. And in reference to that, I was talking about how upper so many pick-me titties are. Like Danica has upper titties, meaning that they don't really sag that much, as far as I know. And Chantel, Simone, Melody, and Jackie. So it's really just upper is a reference to highly upped titties. It's not really like they don't sag as much as the women I was referring to, whose titties is like down to their belly button and shit. That's just nasty. That's nasty. When they sag too much. That's poor titty management. Because you're supposed to adjust your bra properly in order to, assure that they don't. I don't know what a woman does to not make her titty sag, but do it. Whatever it is, do it. I don't care what you gotta do. I don't.
Just ask Jackie.
Well, no, I don't want to. I don't have titties. But no, I mean,
you said you don't know what they do.
Oh no, I'm not curious.
He said he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
I don't care. Just keep them up. Just keep them up. Like it's really bizarre because that therapist, she was 28 years old and they all sagging and shit. Like, why? What do you do wrong? How do you just like up your titties like that? That's poor hygiene. Listen, I don't care if you have to get a vibranium bra. Keep the shit up. Keep it up. Keep the titties up. So that's what I meant by upper. Now, your prom situation. The thing about your prom situation is prom is really one of the few instances in life where a man has the mating advantage. It's really a man's choice. Typically it's ladies' choice, but prom is man's choice. Why? Because all women want to go to prom. However, not all women can go to prom. It's invitation only unless you are a senior in that particular school. So what happens is because women who are seniors themselves, they don't date down. And by dating down, I mean freshman, sophomore, junior and stuff like that. But men do. Men will take an attractive junior to the prom. I've seen it. They will take an extremely attractive sophomore to the prom. I've seen it, meaning that his mating pool is much greater. And he can also take junior, seniors, and et cetera, from different schools. Women who probably, if you ask them to Burger King, they would say no. But if you ask them to prom, meaning that they get to go to their own prom as well as yours, she's going to say yes. You know, women don't turn down proms. That's like turning down weddings. They just don't do that. So, Jackie, you were at an extraordinary disadvantage for that reason. It was, your competition was extreme in the prom sense because you were competing with junior, seniors, and sophomore from all of the other local schools. It was going to be a no go before the titties came in and all that good stuff. So I wouldn't feel too bad about that because it happened to a lot of girls.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a high school. It's really a high school thing
Yeah,
for
it is.
nerdy. There's a lot of nerdy girls that don't go to prom with someone.
But these people aren't nerdy. I see. I don't like this nerdy concept because I'll just say at affluent white high schools,
I
the
was nerdy.
concept of nerdy.
Wait, hold on, hold on,
So
wait. Let's hold on. Let's pick apart the nerdy thing. Where was it nerdy or that you were just socially just invisible?
Okay, well, okay, yeah, I was socially invisible.
All right, because
Yeah,
I don't think it's just nerdy. I think that yeah, it is a status thing to it. I know. Just combing through Facebook, looking at like people post old pictures or whatever. With all the high school politics out of the equation, I know, and I hate looking at, I mean, granted, you can't help it. You're looking at old pictures from high school classmates, girls that used to flirt with, mess with, this or that, and then I'm looking at it with all the high school social dynamics out of the equation, and I'm like, wait a minute, her
what's they
right
look
there,
better? Look better
yeah,
than
no,
her.
no, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, yeah, her right there that we ignored, she's actually cuter or prettier facially than this chick or that chick. So it is some politics to it all. But for
agreed.
whatever reason, this chick, she was just more socially invisible or socially
Yeah,
maybe
but I think I
awkward
was
or
socially invisible because I was like nerdy.
But
That's
and
why I think
and
I was
but
socially
did you do any activities?
like what do you mean?
So were
Like play sports or
did you play any
something?
sports? Were you in the band or were you in the choir? Were you in
No,
theater? And so that goes back to that
no.
Northwestern study.
uh,
This is what they've figured out that a lot of this
Yeah,
drives this is again in middle class and upper middle class black families, the boys, like I just had a conversation with my buddy yesterday or 2 days ago because something happened. I had to explain it to him. So again, if guys know that the only reason why you'll be expected, especially black boys, black men. So I remember before I started playing sports at my school, they didn't care about me. Like in fact, I was somewhat of an outcast because I was a black kid in a white suburb. They didn't want to talk to me. They just kind of ignored me. But as soon as I started playing sports, all of a sudden now I was in the in crowd.
mm-hmm.
And I recognized that dynamic very early because I was like, wow, from third grade to sixth grade, no one cared about me. No one really talked to me. And then all of a sudden in seventh grade, I'm on the teams and everything and I'm good. Now all of a sudden, I get invited to the birthday parties and this and people's houses. So I saw that very distinctly and it continued through high school. And then after high school, it tapered back off because again, I have no utility to them. I'm not playing sports at their colleges or anything like that. So I'm of no value. Now life has happened and people come, no, now I'm back in the in crowd because I have value that they want from me because of XYZ that they think that, hey, you ever heard about Christian? He's doing XYZ, this, and now I'm in the in crowd. So guys understand they're only there because they're useful. And so your dad, who's probably only able to have you in an affluent neighborhood because he's useful, is telling the son, hey, you need to get good grades. You need to play sports. You need to do this, do that, because this is how you make friends and get to know people. And so the guys inherently just pick that up. While the girls, they look at it as, they're in competition with the white girls in a different sort of way. And it gets really weird. Like the white guys I went to high school and college with, they weren't like in competition with me because we lived two different lives. Like it's not the same. You know what I mean? Like they weren't threatened by me. Like, yeah, we played on the basketball team or football team together. And
Yeah. Yeah, and I also want to point out, like, the situation where I was explaining that how, like, one girl was like more invisible. She didn't particularly get good grades. She just was probably sort of what Christian is getting at. Probably just less social and just less involved, and just didn't have friends or wasn't friends with the cool people, and she just kind of just faded in the background of the school, it seemed. But just, like I said, going back just looking at the pictures, it was like, she was actually cute. But anyway, Kevin C in the building, and it's worth pointing out that we got to make it clear before I pass it to Kevin C. The whole nerdy thing, men lose far more social currency being viewed as nerdy or uncool than women. So it's like it's so that's why the guys are always going to give pushback any girl saying, yeah, I was a nerd and I was overlooked, and I was like, shut the hell up, we don't want to hear that shit. But because
the reason why I say that is because my friends were the same way. None of them have had boyfriends either.
But
and
see,
they weren't black.
But the thing is, in my high school, all the popular kids were in calc class and chemistry class and physics class, because those are the kids going to Notre Dame and Michigan State and Brown and Cornell. Those are the people. Like there's a big overlap between the people playing sports, doing the activities, getting good grades, and the people. Like,
yeah, that's why I distinguished that I was nerdy, because there was a lot of popular people that were smart. Yeah, but I was one of those people that wasn't.
I mean, our starting
but was smart.
Our starting quarterback now is a director of engineering at an automotive company. He's a mechanical engineer. He went to school for mechanical engineering, and he was a all county baseball player, and he played football too.
Okay. Shout out to we're going to go to Kevin C. Go to Kevin C. Go ahead. You have the floor. You have the mic. Thank you. Coming up.
Yeah. First of all, hello to you as the host, Mr. Riley. Hey, thanks for letting me up, and I hope your cough gets a little bit better. I know your wife is looking out for you.
Why do everybody think I'm married?
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
Give off a lot of married man energy. Everybody think I'm married.
I thought you were married, bro.
My bad. Why? What? No, I don't get offended.
You come off as a married man. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I come off as a married man.
Yeah, you do. You do. You guys come up. I assume you're married, brother.
Everybody do.
I hope I doesn't offend you or anything.
Oh no! Don't offend me at all. I've just been trying to get down to the bottom of it, where people just assume I'm married. They just assume I'm married. But the catch to that is, I did get married at 19 and was married from like 19 to 31. I've been married more in my adult life than not married. So okay. I was a goody two shoe good boy, married my first and all of that, So yeah.
I guess that counts as marriage. There you go. So that's where that comes from.
So that's what I'm saying. I still wear that married man energy on me. People just be assuming I'm married. But anyway,
even after my divorce.
Game changer. Why is that so damn funny?
No, it's just funny the fact that I think that women marry guys and then they put a scent on them to keep other women away. Like they just squirt you, and you just look married after a while.
These women don't.
It doesn't go away in the divorce. And it doesn't go away in the divorce. They just squirt you with a scent, yes, he's taken. She's marked her territory on you, and it's still there. You haven't washed it away yet.
Yeah, I know when we're out, my wife gets a little bit closer, so you know what it is. But yeah, at any rate, hello to all of you guys and everybody in the chat. But I only came up to actually kind of explain some of the stuff that I thought it was self-explanatory when I put it in the chat, but I think I put it in a little bit late. But my whole point to all the stuff that I was saying is, and it kind of relates to what I was talking about yesterday. Did those guys go to college? And and then the young lady there, and hello to the young lady, by the way, Miss Jackie, and she said, yeah, most of those young men went off to college, so there was an athletic scholarship, academic, or they were going to go to college anyway. My point to saying all of that is, these women, these young ladies, these white girls or non-black girls are actually getting these highly functional and black teens in their young ages. And so they if you stick with them that whole time through high school, college, then that's generally not always, but that's that kind of tracks into why they marry these women versus, okay, this lady's with me the whole time, I'm not going to go find somebody new after I get on. So that's kind of how it's one of those things where, the women, and I say young black girls, got to get in the game versus waiting until later, because Well, you see a lot of times they're trying to do their own thing. They kind of separate, do their own thing. They go to graduate high school, go off to college. Meanwhile, these young black boys are linking up with non-black women. And then they see these, these older men, in their early 20s with non-black women. And they go, well, how did she get them? And I didn't get them. Well, but she put in the investment early. And that's my whole point. What it was I was talking about and kind of what I'm seeing. And when I ask, and then you can also relate that to even when these young, high functional, responsible, hardworking, and productive black men go into college. I always ask women, so how did you miss this guy in college? You were right there with him, studying in the same library, going to the same classes, going to the same events. How do y'all miss these guys? And then, there's always never a good answer. And then it's almost like, those guys are completely ignored, and then they're waiting for the final product versus actually getting in as these guys are on their way to the, to doing what it is they're going to be. So and that would be my whole point with this is like, you got to get in on these guys early. And this idea that we can't recognize talent, we can't recognize responsible and productive and smart and intelligent men. That's a non-starter for me, because most men can do it. We know who the deadbeats are going to be. We know who the successful guys are going to be. We know who the moderately successful young men are going to be. So it always befuddles me, befuddle, if I, can use that word. It always confuses me as to why women go, well, I didn't know he was going to be like that, or I couldn't get this guy, or they were ignoring this dude. And the way men operate is we generally go to the first one or two women that say yes. We're going to ask. And then whoever that first woman that says, okay, you know what, Kevin, I'll give you a chance. That's usually the girl we're going to take to prom. That's the girl we're going to, go through college with, or, kind of if whatever it is we do the first few years of our life. And that's generally the one we're going to marry versus chasing all over the place. Because I look at it like this. Men don't have time to be chasing women around. We got too many other things to do. So the first woman that says, the first one or two that says yes, that's probably going to be the wife that we're looking at, whether she's black, non-black, or from a whole nother country, whatever it is we're doing. That's kind of a lesson to the women. And I'm not trying to, dog on the women here. It's just, that's just something women need to look out for when they go, well, I can't find any productive men. Yeah, because they're already either snatched up, you didn't get on early. One of the lessons I like to use is Patrick Mahomes. Him and his wife have been together since high school. Now, obviously he had the whole athlete thing going. He was a baseball player, football player, and all this other stuff. But she didn't know he was going to be $1 billion quarterback and MVP and all this other stuff. She just got linked in on him, early in life. And it probably also helped that he was biracial and had a white mother, so he was kind of comfortable with white people and all this other stuff and everything else. But my whole point is that women have to start looking at this and just getting in on these guys early. And Chris even used his life experience and studies to actually point to all the stuff that I'm talking about. So I just came up to clarify that. That's what I was talking about.
I definitely agree with you. And that goes into the mating strategy that I was saying before, how they want to scratch the lottery ticket after it's already, or buy the lottery ticket after it's already been scratched. They wait too long. In addition to that, they wait until they themselves become successful, and most don't. Most are waiting for success that never come, which is why those be the ones that really find themselves later in life, like okay, I'm 37 and I make 40K and I have $200,000 in student loans. True story. It's on my channel. And I want somebody to come and help. It's like, no, that's not a good deal for the man. So yeah, they have to develop an earlier strategy. Now they don't want to hear that, and this is the quagmire that they're in, Kevin. They don't want to hear that now, because what it implies is that it's too late for an entire generation of Black women, several generations of Black women who've already done that. They want to hear that, oh no, your success is going to yield you a successful man. Why? What value? Okay, here's the problem. And understand this good, fellas. What's hers is hers, and what's yours is theirs. So, or from her point of view, what's hers is hers, and what's yours is ours. Meaning that if what's yours is ours, if what's hers is hers, then why does it matter how much she makes? If you are going to take that stance in a relationship, it doesn't matter if she makes 200K, because that 200K is yours, and your 200K is part of hers. So her income isn't really relevant at that point, and she don't understand that. her youth and beauty is what she brings to the relationship.
And that's what women are missing out on. That's the big point that they're missing. And not only that, and I don't even just look at it as money or finances.
If I may, right quick. So what happens? What's happening now with Black women is that the older Black women, who are absent youth and beauty, they are trying to convince the younger ones to squander theirs away the same way they did, in order to eliminate competition. And they do eliminate a lot of younger women as competition, but they only have that influence over young Black girls. They do not have that influence over young girls of other races and nationalities who are like, I'm not going to squander my youth and beauty. My bad, Kevin.
Yeah. For some reason, other people know that, or at least other races of women know that, and they actually adhere to that. Not only that, they get pushed. Like every time you turn around, they're like, "Hey, what are you doing? When are you going to get married?" Like there's enough. And then not only that, they even have family, friends working to put them together. And then the other thing is,
no, I would just
yeah. And then the other thing too, as it relates to the finances, when a woman shows up with finances or her career and all this other stuff, look, I look at it like this: when she starts having that first 1 or 2 kids, then she might stop working altogether, or at least go part-time, because it doesn't make sense for a lot. That's why when women, and I hate to, I can say Kevin Samuels, right? It's okay to say him.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, yeah. So the thing is that when he said men don't care about your income, that's not what he's talking about. He's not like we don't care about your money. It's we can't factor your money in because we have to always plan for the fact that you might stop working altogether, or you might actually, start working part time, or that $80,000 job that you had, it might go down to 40 or even 30, or just completely disappear altogether while you're actually being a full time, or at least a part time, fully devoted mother or something like that. So that's why men say that, and that is the context in which we're talking about. Not, we don't care about your money. It's we know we can't count on it. We have to be able to carry that entire relationship financially and all the responsibilities that go along with that entire household. We're not going to put that stress or that unnecessary burden on our wives while she's actually trying to take care of our kids. So
you have to do that, and you have to do that for about 3 to 8 years. And so that's why you're doing this for 3 to 8 years. So
absolutely, yeah.
And so that's why when you hear a lot of these women talk about this, it sounds so juvenile, because it's like, look, you're going to have a lower level of production for a period of time, and those are actually the hardest years of family formation. Is actually that time frame. That's been proven over and over again. And so I have plenty of people I know that their kids are hitting 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, and the wives are going back to work because there's nothing else for them to do. There's nothing else to do. They have a degree. Now, the people who their wives were fairly high earning, they may have taken positions where they could still work and still, like, so for instance, let's say like we have a friend who's a pharmacist. She was working part-time. So she's a full-time pharmacist. She makes $150 as a part-time pharmacist. She makes 60, 70 grand a year, but she only might work 8 days a month. But that's the options of higher income. Most women are not operating at that level. Honestly, the average salary for a woman is like $46,000 or something like that. Like, there is.
Well, I also want to say that in addition to the meaning that Kevin C was saying from Kevin Samuels about why we don't care about a woman's money. Yeah, that's true, because it is temporary, and she will eventually take maternity leave and say, something, I'm going to turn this 6-week maternity leave into a 6-year maternity leave. That does happen. I've seen it happen. In addition to that, we simply don't care about your money. Like when Bernard put Jackie on the big screen, nobody in the comment section says, how much does she make? We genuinely don't give a shit. We genuinely do not give a shit.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out.
I'm going to say this one more time, just to reinforce it. We genuinely do not give a shit. If Bernard called me up, right, and said, "Hey, GC, I'd like to introduce you to my cousin," the first question out of my mind isn't going to be, "How much money does she make?" It's not. It's going to be like, how big are her titties, or something like that. Like it's going to be something that I actually care about. and that
About
is
his
something
cousin?
that I actually care
It would
about.
it would be how
So
does she look? I don't think he
Yeah,
would
Yeah,
yeah.
how
ask
does
He
she
would
you.
look?
say,
Yeah.
yeah, how does
yeah,
she
yeah,
look,
okay,
or
it'll
what
be
she
how
like, or
she
what she
looks
like.
exactly,
Yeah,
because
what
that's
she like.
something that I
He would probably ask for a picture and then he would make a titty assessment
Yeah.
himself. I don't
But
know.
GC is obviously a breast man. But go ahead.
no, I'm a lip and eye man, but I don't judge. I don't judge Bernard's judgment on lip quality and eye quality that I do. I know Bernard is more of a breast man than I am,
I don't
so
no no.
I would get his assessment of that. But
Well,
no,
all about ass
nevertheless,
and
it
thighs for
would be
me.
physical. It would be physical. I don't even ask. I could date a chick for a while and not realize, like, until I see her house, like,
Yeah.
how much money she makes. I truly and genuinely do not give a shit. And somebody say great personality. I don't give a shit about that either. Or I give far less of
Yes,
a
you do.
shit about that than
Yeah,
I
yeah, we
do
do. We actually care
about
about the personality. All she has to do is just be a nice person. That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
I,
That's
I
all you got
give
to be.
less of a shit about that than I do. It's a hierarchy of needs, and needing her income is at the bottom of most men's hierarchy. It is. We don't need that shit. So women, if you're trying to sell a man on income, that's like trying to sell a car on power steering or something like that. Like, do you really just, like, first of all, they all come with it. So, like, but does it really matter? Is it that important? It's one of those miscellaneous details. It is. It's one of those miscellaneous details. And ladies, don't, if you're waiting, letting your titty sag for the day that you make a lot of money, thinking that you're going to get a man with a lot of money, you are out your damn mind. You are out your mind. We do not, for the most part, we do not care. We do not care about that. We care about that as about as much as y'all care about like zodiac signs or some shit like that. Like, it's not that important.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
But
couple
all
things.
right, going yeah, just to clarify one thing because I got called a breast man. That is inaccurate. If the ass, thighs, and waist and all of that is right, she could have some bee stings up there. I don't give a shit. But
Okay.
it's all
My
about that
mistake.
ass.
So,
But
so,
all
Yeah,
about that,
and
all about that ass for me.
so I do
But
have a
all right,
question for
hold
Jackie.
on, time out,
Oh,
time out,
okay,
time out,
go
time out.
ahead.
Let me get to who we got in here on super chats. I think I already read. Machismo TV said good stream.
Mm-hmm.
Black women. Okay, I've already read that one. Shout out to Machismo TV. Shout out to Freeman's Journal in the building. He says I think Christian's high school experience confers black women are their own subculture and have been for some time. What happens when American culture recognizes black men and black women as separate? Support black male media. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Freeman's Journal, do appreciate the super chat. Captain Cisco in the building says you should do a show on black women in junior high. Huh? You should do a show on black women in junior high. Them black women. Okay, black girls in junior high. Don't call them women. You just that's people be never mind. I ain't gonna even talk about those people that try to find any reason to try to, charge somebody up. Okay, you do a show on black girls in junior high. Them black girls were off the chain. There, fights every week. Black women beating up boys 12 and 13, and everybody was banging. I don't know. I don't know. Ryan Decipher says, I limit the amount of time I'm going to talk about high school girls. I just do. It's I did a show stream called "What Should the Legal Age of Consent Be?" and a few people, exposed themselves, and I would rather not help y'all expose yourself there. So, all right, Ryan Decipher in the building says, "Is your beard, Bernard? You have that? I voted Republican for the first time. Beard. He's talking about why everybody assume
that you're married.
that I'm married. I've been divorced for a little while though. But I
You still got that? She
You got the
squirted
married
with
vibe
you.
though, man.
still
You got married juice all over you, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to shake it off. But all right,
So
Ryan
OG says, I only care about if she wants a black or white stove. Okay, listen. It's not a matter of what she wants or needs from me. It's not. When we're talking about what I want from her, these are notice how I didn't ask her how much she made because I didn't give a shit. And the reason why I didn't give a shit is because I liked the way that she looked. I liked the upness of her titties, and I liked her lips, and I liked her hair texture. That I liked a lot of things about her physically. So, that's what I wanted from her. Now, she may have been interested in how much I made, even though she didn't ask, but she knew I had enough to afford a stove. So there you have it. It's not a matter of how much she made. Because she worked at a there they have like lottery ticket stands for whatever strange reasons. Maybe if they had machines, people would break into them. But she worked at a lottery ticket stand, and it's like a little, very little bodega behind a cage where they do nothing but dispense lottery tickets. Um, that's where she worked. I have no idea how much those people make, nor do I give a shit. All I know is that I like what I seen. Why, OG? Because I'm a man, and that's just how we roll. I don't ask to see a chick's W-2s before I fuck her. Why are people red taping their dick? Why
Not
are
only
people
that,
red taping?
GC, I would actually go further to say that men won't even, on the list of things that are looking for in a woman, your income is not actually one of them. It's like a nice little blessing, but we're not even looking into that. I would say looks, intelligence, responsibility. Are you compatible, and what's your personality? I'm not even talking about that. And are you fitting in shape? How you look? So that goes to your looks, and then do you have any kids or not, and what's your age? Like these are the things that dudes are looking for, and women are thinking it's about the money. And money's nice, but men are expected to carry that entire load the whole time. And
Exactly.
I got a couple things I'm going to go ahead and dip on out. So we got to get away from this thing where when people are in high school or when people are speaking intelligent or they have a nasally voice and they're black or something like that, we call them nerds. Look, they're functioning people. They're functioning, responsible, hardworking, and they're going to be successful adults. I don't know why we have that stigma and whatever's going on with that, but black people, we need to work past it because it's holding us back. And the other thing too is, I went through that whole thing where I chased after girl after girl after girl, and I got rejection. I tell my wife these stories, she's like, "Nah, that's not." I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely," because I was that young skinny guy who, was on my way trying to do good and amazing things, and then we all blossom later on, and nobody can tell. But the whole point is that, we just got to refer to it as functional versus somebody being nerdy or just. I think what was that? What did you say? You say invisible something? What was that you called it, Bernard?
Socially
Just
invisible.
socially invisible. I think I said
Socially invisible. That's really all it is. And then it wasn't like that's the other thing too. I wasn't going after cheerleaders or the hot girls. Which I'm like, hey, I know my level, right? So I was going after regular, and it was funny because the ones that I was chasing after, they all wanted the football players and the cute boys and all the other stuff too, and I get all of that. So I understand my competition. That's why I was getting rejected. So I understood that I had to improve and work on myself and everything else. And I will ask Miss. I just got a question for Miss Jackie, if you don't mind, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but as you got older, and I know you were younger, you kind of feel a little a funny kind of way about your teenage photos, which by the way, weren't bad or anything. And then your brother, of course, he did get all the swag. I'm not gonna lie, your brother's cool. That being said, as you developed into the young lady that you are and all the other stuff, you started to get the time and attention from suitable men. Yes, that did come your way, right?
See, this is why they say I have a Marvel origin story because it gets
I just want to see what
complicated.
point where he's going. Just say yeah, so he can move on and make the point. Because I know yeah, we did a lot of shows where we talked about this, and it's
Okay,
complicated,
right.
And I don't even feel like dig going
So
back
I
down
won't
that rabbit
belabor it
hole.
then. If you kind of get what I was talking about, then Bernard. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
hey.
I kind of get where you're going. Just go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's just that I think women just got to be open to as they're maturing and developing and doing their thing. Even if you're going to nursing school or college or whatever it is you're doing, then you got to be open to young men who are actually looking at you for that same purpose as well, because that's where you're going to have that link up. That's where that meetup and that connection is going to probably be made versus later on. I'll just say it's harder to do it somewhere between 28 to 32 versus how much easier it is to do somewhere between 18 to 21 or 23 or something like that. That would be my advice to women. And I don't really give advice to women too much because I don't think like a woman, but so I kind of know how they're messing things up. So I talk to the men and what it is they're supposed to be looking for and what they're supposed to be doing in order to get the woman that they want. That's kind of how I do it. So that's what men should be doing. But hey, I don't have anything else, Bernard. Thanks for letting me up. GC, Chris, thanks for the stuff that you're talking about, and the young lady there, Miss Jackie. Hey, good on you, and you guys take care. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks, thanks, Kevin Seed. We appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everybody in the building. GC apparently just dropped off,
So,
but
so
I'll go ahead and take this time right now while we got 338 people in here. Y'all hit the like button, and like it says right there, hang out with Bernard and a few fellow Black Manosphere bros at Barcode Detroit for games drinks on September 19th, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. No cover charge or fees or anything like that. More info here at Eventbrite. That should be in the chat room. Click on that. And yeah, just basically just brothers just getting together, meeting in person, networking, the whole works and everything, and kind of just hanging out. Something we're going to do monthly for the Manosphere content creators that's in the Detroit area, as well as the subscribers that are in the Detroit area. So just come on through, hang out, and yeah, and it was Christian Hutchinson's wonderful idea that we're going to get together and do that periodically. So if you're interested, just click on Eventbrite. If you're in the Detroit area, this ain't no big event that you should be catching a flight for. We just hanging out. So so yeah, just yeah, if you're in the Detroit area, go ahead and click that link for the invite. And yeah, and there we go. There we go.
so
Go
so
ahead, Chris.
so Jack, I do have a question. This is
Yes.
two parts.
Yes.
You saw how involved your brother was in school in
Mhm.
terms of doing activities, and you saw what that was doing for him. And I understand, you just can't decide that you want to be a singer or do something like that and be involved at that sort of level. Why? What is the barrier of entry that many Black women are finding themselves in those situations when they're in those sort of environments where they do not want to enter in them? That's first part. The second part is, and this is a theory that I've formulated over years, and I have nothing to prove it out. I get this feeling that Black women who are in affluent Black households and the father is present, I get the feeling that they resent their father in some way because of how they feel isolated from the larger group of Black women. Do you think that's true?
I mean, see, I don't know because I only went to that school because my mom, she drove the like school bus. That's the only reason why I was able to
Okay.
go. So I wasn't raised by my
How
father.
long was
So
that bus? It's just a
it was
curious
a
question.
it was a normal sized school bus. It wasn't a short bus.
Okay, just curious. Just curious.
So I wasn't raised by my father, but most of my friends, yeah, they had dads. So like from my school, they had their fathers, and I don't know if it was like resentment that they couldn't, because they were all friends with each other. Like most of the Black people were friends with each other.
Yeah,
So
that's
all
a, yeah, they're that's the thing. You're all friends with each other. So that's how it was at our school. We're all friends together. We all sit together at lunch. We all hang out in the hallways, but we're not the boys are not their choice for dating, except for maybe one or two, and then they mainly want to date the boys at majority Black high schools. And so then the guys, if you want to be involved in the social scene in terms of going to homecoming and proms and things like that, you have to date non-Black women. You're kind of forced out of that group, and then it's looked at as kind of like, well, why are you doing that? And that's a weird thing that was the dynamic at
but
my high school.
You know,
I the way I saw it, it was kind of like it's like kind of like the the chicken or the egg, which one came first. It's like the guys, a lot of guys seemed like they were just interested in the white girls, and then all the Black girls were like, well, we got to date other guys from other schools because they're interested in these girls. So in order for us to be able to talk to someone, we got to talk to, because I was talking to someone from another school, and I said earlier, like
The
I asked
question that hold on,
him
wait. The question that we got at earlier, why they didn't just mess with the non-Black boys at the school?
because they didn't want to date them either. So, like,
Why not though?
well, like I said before,
why hold
Which,
on, hey,
yeah.
hold on. Why didn't the non-Black boys at the school want to date the Black girls at the school?
I'm not gonna say I know for sure. I just know that a lot of the Black girls at our school, if they weren't like popular and you know, if they weren't popular and behaved like the white girls, then they were like kind of ratchet. So that's probably why.
So if they wasn't
That's
bad as
probably
hell,
why.
okay, so basically, so is it You're basically saying the boys of other races weren't trying to mess with them unless they look damn good. They had to look
Yeah,
damn good and not be ratchet.
right, right, right. So it was like it's that hierarchy. It's like the popular black girls, and then the middle girls that kind of like me, and then it's the kind of the hood girls. So they really want to date the hood. It was mostly the hood girls that would talk to other guys at the other schools, even though they had like their father and all this stuff. They were kind of like trying, like I said, they were trying to like stay black. So they were like overcompensating for being at this school full of like all these white people. So they would act more hoodish than you would think from some girls from the
All
suburbs.
right, now hold on.
So
Now keep it 100 is calling cap. Now I actually think what you're saying is accurate in a school where there's just a snowfall of white girls. Obviously, the white guys are going to more likely go and get with the white girls, and the black girls, unless they was bad as hell, would be invisible. Unless they was like the badass popular cheerleading black girl. If they was Hillary Banks or somebody walking through there, then the white guys would be hollering. But if you was just a regular, basic, average black girl, average at best black chick in a 95% white school, the white guys probably wouldn't checking.
Well,
Especially she doesn't play sports, not in the band, not in choir, not in theater. That's the thing that's weird. That's
okay.
the
Wait,
weird
hold on.
part.
No, I think he misinterpreted. I think he thought that she was saying the black woman wasn't interested in the guys of other races at the school. He was saying that the guys of other races wasn't interested in the black girls at the school, and that's
yeah,
why, because all the black guys was messing with all the Beckys and so forth and so on. So the black girls, they was like, okay, I'm trying to get with the black dudes at the other school because ain't nobody at this school checking.
Well, I mean,
And
for a white guy, there's no bragging rights in dating a black girl. There isn't. They're just considered less than as women, so you can't really just bring
No,
one home.
come on, that's a little much.
It's not. It's not much
That's
if
a
it's
little.
true.
That's a little much. That's a little much.
It's not much. It's true. It's true. They
okay,
don't.
okay. All right, when you say consider, okay, well, just explain what you mean before we say that's a little much. Just go ahead and break down what you mean. Lay out
Okay,
your point.
I'll break down exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
So a white guy brings home an Asian woman, and he doesn't bring her home. He goes and tells his friend, "Yeah, I got yellow fever. I met this hot Asian chick," and they're like, "Oh wow, good for you, good for you." Or I met this hot Latina, or I met this blonde chick, or I met this platinum blonde chick, or I met this ginger. Like, when do they ever brag and say, "I met a black girl"? They never do, because they don't consider that a difficult conquest, for one. But for two, it's not really something that they brag about. And the reason why they don't brag about it is several. But the primary reason that they don't brag about it is because they're not really considered to be difficult to get, for a white guy. And that's because they're the only group of women that writes books on how to get a white guy. So you didn't really cross a major barrier if they're writing and buying books on how to get at you. So there's that, and there's also the whole stigma that, if somebody says, "I got a black chick," you're gonna close your eyes and picture him with a fat chick. You are, which means he actually lose some things. It's sad to say, but there isn't bragging rights associated with it, which is difficult to say. Now, however, there is bragging rights associated with, being with an attractive woman of any race. So people like Jackie would need a name. She would need that name that says, she's the black girl that, all the dudes were looking at, and they know her by name because they was waiting their line to hit. Once you are of that status, once you are the Tika Sumter status, then you start getting the whole, white guys, they are bragging on your name, not your blackness, your name, And unfortunately, in Jackie's case, she didn't have a name. Now, I wanted to address something that you were saying, Christian. I had a different experience. with Black women that went to high school in predominantly white high schools, because those are the ones that I wanted. See, I am attracted physically, definitely, to Black women, but I didn't like all the shit that came with them culturally. So I would look for women or excuse me, young girls from different high schools that went to like Alameda High or Hayward High or something like that, neighboring cities in Oakland, because I went to a predominantly Black school, and and I have to say, my success ratio with the ones that I call tokens, which is my fantasy, I like tokens. Stacey Dash, Lisa Turtle, they can get it. Clueless and Saved by the Bell, the tokens can get it. So I'm like Chuck E. Cheese. I love them tokens, but I wanted I wanted more tokens, and I did not have the same success that you're describing. I wish that the tokens were lined up going to the Black high schools like mine, hoping to get me. But I actually had more success with the white women interested in Black men than I did with the Black tokens that were interested in Black men. Now, Christian, I think that your experience may be a little different because you were an athlete, and maybe they were maybe that's where the perception is coming from. But like a regular non-athlete, I didn't get much play from the tokens, and I wanted it.
Oh, I mean, for us, like we were athletes at a predominantly white school, so we were looked at as that we weren't even as good as the black athletes at the black schools until they would come to a game, and then they would say no, they're actually better than them. It was a weird dynamic. It would always be really really weird in terms of that.
That makes sense though. It actually makes sense. I mean, if you're a black guy on a basketball team at a predominantly white school, I mean, it's like you're it's like you're the skinniest kid at fat camp. You're the tallest midget. It's like that's what it's like when 'cause nobody views that white school as they just about to dominate on basketball. So any black kid transfer over there, of course he's gonna. I mean, if a black kid that plays basketball transfer over there, of course he's gonna make the basketball team.
Well,
And probably
that would happen all the time, and
exactly.
those guys wouldn't make the team, and they would be salty because they were not that good. They like the talent levels are not that different at the median, at the top there maybe because like I get into a whole thing about like we would get transfers in from other schools every year trying to make the basketball team. They're like, oh yeah, I'm coming from Southfield High or Pontiac or Detroit or whatever, and we're going to come to your school because I can make the basketball team there. They couldn't make it their school. So just think about it. There's 15 guys on the basketball team, right? You couldn't make the team there. So you're saying you're going to start at another school? Just think about
No,
that.
no, not start, but I'm saying if you were good at that other school, is part of it is perception. Part of it is perception. I definitely give you that. But if you were good at that other school, you had a good chance when you went to that white school. But what would I do know what you're talking about. If somebody who didn't make the team at the black school, but they just had some game, they probably had hood game. They think they're gonna go to the white school. No. It doesn't work clear cut like that. It don't
Yeah,
work clear cut
yeah,
like that.
that's what we
But
would have happen every year.
the view and perception is like, yeah, you were just good for one of the only black guys at an all white school, but it wouldn't until the black team show up, and then the majority, even though the school is predominantly white, the basketball team is predominantly black, and then they find out, oh, okay, I can bang with the all black school. So then once they see that, but it's like you got to prove yourself. You got to prove yourself. So that is
And that's all just stereotypes. And I'm saying it feeds into. I saw it flow through the on the girls' side of our school that they would be surprised that we were good, or they would be surprised that I was fast, and it would just be funny that 2,400 people in the school knows I'm fast. The 5 neighboring high schools know I'm fast, but the 30 black girls in my school, they're like, "What? You're really fast? You qualified for the state meet?" I mean, that's it's like, how do you guys not know this? And everybody else does.
I want to say something too. What's going on in the chat? Because they're talking about Lark Voorhees, I think her name is, from Saved by the Bell. That is further proof of what I was talking about their less than in value. So if you look at the Saved by the Bell dynamic, you have Zach, AC Slayer, and Screech. And then on the female side, you had Kelly Kapowski, Donna, I think the middle one name was, and and Lisa Turtle. Now, notice how Zach and AC, they dated all the white chicks like regularly, and they bragged about it. Like, yes, I got Kelly Kapowski. I got Kelly Kapowski. Like they just like kept like swinging each other. They every episode or so they switched between Kelly and Donna, and but however,
Jesse Spano. It's Jesse Spano.
Jesse Spano, thank you. Yeah, why did I call her Donna? Oh, because I'm confusing it with 90210. That's what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jesse Spano, and they just kept switching. They just kept switching. Now, even though Lisa is the hottest, and she was like head cheerleader and stuff like that, she was still reduced to Screech, and nobody bragged on her name. Why? Because her blackness, two white men made her vagina worth less than it should have been, than it ought to have been. You know, now that's the unfortunate but true. You have to take a down. And the down that she would have been made to take would have been Screech. That would have been a down. Just her blackness puts her vagina level on Screech. On Screech. That is where it's at, and that is where it is. And when swirlers brag about the dynamics that they have, I got a white guy, you got Screech. You are Lisa Turtle with Screech. You finally accepted Screech, and there you have it.
See, Iron Attic in the building says we don't want your. I don't know what that emoji is, but
Money.
says, oh,
Money.
oh, that's money. It looked green.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like brown. Look, those are some pesos. What kind of money is that? Okay. Anyway, he says we don't want your money. We want your viscous innards. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. We also got what we got in here? Who we got in here? See Iron Addict back in here again says she proves that girl/women don't want to date in proximity, cohabitate. They want to live their own life, no restrictions from a guy in their school.
Can I? Somebody?
It was more to it. I do understand what you're saying. That a chick, have a boyfriend at another school, but then free and to do what she want to do in the hallways of her own school. That is a thing. I don't know if that's necessarily what Jackie was talking about. I think the black woman at her school was they was lacking options. That's more or less what how I interpreted her story.
Can I say something to the chat room?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Nadiji, she said. I think it's a she. She said, white men promote their women. New concept to some. See, that's her snarky little way of saying that black men don't promote their women. Listen, you listen to me good. All right. Black men promote black women to a fault. Okay. We promote your ass and nobody else do. We call you queens and shit, and we call you Mother Earth and goddesses. Most of y'all ain't shit. And we even promote y'all when y'all fat and single mothered and haired. Okay. Name the white dude that's out there promoting fat ass, ugly, stupid, fat white bitches. Name one. Roseanne promote her goddamn self. Rosie O'Donnell promote her goddamn self. Amy Schumer promote her goddamn self. But let somebody like Oprah come and see how many black men are like, oh, that's the lick. I love me some of that. Give me some. And then they always promote your fat, ugly asses. So don't ever tell me that we don't promote. We over promote y'all. We look like we have no damn standards because we promote y'all worthless asses. Okay. And that's, we do it to a fault. And how dare you sit there? How dare you have the audacity to say that we don't promote you? That is the one thing that we do. We promote shitty stuff. We are like the advertisement companies for Arby's. All right. We promote shit. That is what we have been doing for the past several generations. Okay. And y'all have taken our promotion because we promoted it when it was true. And then y'all made liars out of us. Okay. Y'all was queens and goddesses back in the Soul Train days when y'all could do moves that white women couldn't. And y'all had figures that white women didn't. The promotion was justified then. Now you made fucking liars out of us, okay? Now, So don't ever. And then y'all accept bad promotion. You know, y'all don't even control your own promotion. Y'all need to just shut these nasty bitches up. Y'all need to shut up the Woman King. Y'all need to shut up this new Wakanda movie. Y'all need to shut up those Jerry Springer bitches, and y'all need to shut up those Maury Povich bitches. Those are the ones giving you bad promotion. It is not black men. It is not black men at all. We give you more promotion than you deserve, period.
Yeah, I agree.
And white men
I
promote
agree too.
Asian women. White men promote Asian women more than anything. The only white women, white men promote are the ones that qualify for a promotion. Black men, we promote all black women. They only promote the ones that qualify for a promotion.
When you was going off, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was about to point out right when you were saying all of that, I was just thinking, didn't Mike Epps just run to the defense of Lizzo just very recently? He just ran to the defense of Lizzo, like public celebrity, famous millionaire men running to the defense of Lizzo when somebody dared to criticize her. So
Exactly, because she's a black woman. Name the fat ass white bitch that looked like that somebody attacks and then somebody of name defends. Somebody with that a millionaire defends. Name one. Name one fat white chick that get defended by celebrities ever. They don't do it. Why? Because they take out their trash or they give it to us.
All right. We about to, I was already planning on wrapping it up. That's almost a good note to wrap it up on. We'll get some last words, some final thoughts in from Christian Hutchinson, and then Jackie give us some final thoughts and final words, and then we will wrap this thing on up. I'm tired. I'm ready to get out of here. But all right, go ahead, Christian Hutchinson. You got it.
Join me and Bernard out on September 19th at Barcade in Detroit. Get some tokens, play some games. So and then last thing is, guys, make sure you're raising your sons and to be productive, functional men, and guys, encourage your girls, your sisters, cousins to look for them, because everybody wins in that regard.
Good stuff. All right, go ahead, Jackie, with the final words. Your final words.
Final words. I don't know. Y'all said a lot. No, there was a lot that was said, so I don't know what I
Yeah,
should
you could take
address.
it. You could take it anywhere.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just. I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say is, from that picture, I experienced that in high school, and like I said, there was a couple of black girls. They were super. Like I said, they looked like models, so they dated. They would date the other white guys, and some of them dated some of the black guys or whatever. But the majority of the black girls didn't date anyone at our school, and even I tried to date someone at another school, and that really didn't work out for me. But I had to like go to another school, and they were saying like, why weren't you in certain activities at your school? I mean, I wasn't the most athletic. I was in like certain like academic clubs, so that really didn't help me socially. Being in academic clubs didn't really help me socially. So I guess being in band probably would have helped, but I wasn't like musically. I wasn't musically inclined.
Okay. Okay.
He showed my high school photo already. Keep it 100. I was really basic. He showed my picture already.
All right.
But now, why are you gonna do me like that?
Okay. All right. I'm back. Okay. Go ahead.
No, because you're gonna start the music
I'm
back
not.
up.
I'm not gonna play it again.
Okay, so basically, I wasn't
Okay.
in
Y'all
those
keep saying, "Can you?" Okay. Well, hold on. Let me just help y'all out. Y'all keep asking her to stand up. She's a classy lady, so she's not going to stand up right now while you're asking. But just go to her channel. That's she got a lot of shorts. Well,
Yeah,
like short. Yeah. She's standing up on her channel. No. Yeah. She's standing up on her channel. Just go to the channel. She not gonna do it. She's not gonna do it right now.
yeah. So yeah, about me not being in activities. I was in activities at school. It just wasn't the cool activities. Like I was in academic clubs. I was in the sewing club. That's not really cool
What do that
either.
got to do with it? You still
Cause
trying
he
to
said,
explain? You try.
cause he
You trying to.
said
You're trying to explain why you didn't have a date to the prom and why you.
no. He said that it's because the black girls are not like doing activities at school. They're not trying to integrate
That
themselves
don't.
into the school, whatever. And I was like, well, I was integrating myself into school, but it wasn't somewhere that would help me to get a date. Like it
No,
was places.
fashion club. They did have like from in my high school, the fashion club was in cahoots with like the acting club or the glee club or whatever. So there
It
were like male
wasn't fashion. It wasn't fashion. It was literally like sewing, like
oh
just
no, no,
sewing techniques and stuff.
because I know they did the wardrobe for the school plays, and that at least got them some notoriety. I know that was a thing.
Yeah, we didn't do that at our school.
Oh, so
So
yeah, that sucked then.
I just didn't pick the right activities to get, be visible.
No, just the dynamic is that black girls at a 95% white school. It is a weird thing. It is a weird thing, and that's a dynamic. That's why those prom pictures pull up every year, like the ones that went viral. Those pictures going to keep popping up every year around prom time, just for the simple fact that all the black boys that they're going to go with white girls. All the other races of boys, they have a plethora of girls, of white girls, and white girls, Mexican, Asian, or whatever that they're going to get with, and the black girls end up going to the all white school, but then trying to mess with the black guys at the other schools. So I mean, if they ain't checking for them, they ain't checking for them. But and like you said,
Right.
the
There's nothing
one
I can do about that.
the ones that was getting checked for was the ones that was bad, and the ones that wasn't getting checked for the ones that they wouldn't all that good looking, and some of them was still ghetto and a little ratchet at the white school trying to stay black. So I mean that it's really that simple. So I mean, trying to say, well, if they did this, if they did that, no, I mean it's kind of just it is what it is situation. It just shows what we already know, that black men can move and have high dating options in any environment, and black women typically can't. We see that on the dating apps. They're the least chosen. They're the least selected. They're this. They're that. So I mean, it's a brute fact of reality, and I don't. It's fun to talk about it. It's fun to talk about it, but I mean, but all the were you in the right social clubs? Like I don't know if that's it. It can improve your social standing and make you not be as socially invisible, as I said. But
Yeah.
overall, it's you're gonna see that happen in every year. We're I think we may be a far way away from every picture that every time we see a picture like that during prom season, that it's the equal picture where it's white guys and 10 black girl with white guys with 10 black girls, or non-black guys with 10 black girls. We are far away from seeing the equivalent picture, because Game Changer asked a question on the last show. Well, where's those boys? Where's their sisters in a picture with all white guys? That picture should exist, and so that's why I thought this would be interesting, because Jackie was explaining all the dynamics as to why that picture don't exist.
And the one black guy that liked me that moved, he was really good friends with my brother, so he didn't want to date me.
Yeah, that's a rule. That's a
So
rule. I think all black men have that. You don't date the homie sister.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And
Yeah.
your brother being on both the football and the basketball team, I think that really limited your options extraordinarily, because like those guys essentially are completely off limits to you,
Yeah.
or you're off limits to them. You know, per your brother's request. That's just a rule. So yeah, it does make sense that that would be the case. Which is
Yeah.
unfortunate. Which probably goes a long way to say why do these guys are dating the white girls, because the black girls are off limits because of the brother rule. Don't date the homie sister.
Yeah, but see, like she said, the attractive ones didn't have a problem, and like it was talked about when we teased it out during the show. She was like, I mean, okay, we showed the pictures when she was in high school. She was a late bloomer. Okay, so the plain she didn't outcompete the plain Jane white girls for the
I
plain
didn't.
for the average Joe guys at the school, white or black. That just is what it is. Is what it is. So we don't gotta, you gotta
Yeah.
overthink it.
Well, the average
So,
Joes, I mean, for prom, the average Joes tend to do better for the reasons I mentioned before on
yeah,
prom.
they can find a hot junior, a hot sophomore, you know, a hot freshman that can get a little illegal, but yeah, so
They said I rejected the homely brothers. I did not reject anybody. No one asked me.
It's prom. You ask up. You ask up, and then you get rejected 12 times, and then you reject down. Like that's what the guys
all
do.
right, Jackie, if you just had to say, just sum it up real quick for people that made it in late, why didn't you get asked to the prom?
Why did I get asked to the
Yeah, why
prom?
didn't nobody ask you?
Because I was socially because
All right.
I was socially invisible. That's why I didn't get asked.
Damn it. I messed up. I messed
And
up my
the
violin.
I asked one guy from another school to the prom, and he said he couldn't go to two proms, and I was like, "Well, why can't I go to your prom?" And he was like, "Oh, that's not gonna work."
I messed it up. My violin wasn't playing right. I was trying to set you up for another violin.
You want me to keep going?
No, you don't got to. You don't got to.
And
All right.
then I graduated and I went to college,
All
and I
right. All right.
still
Mike and Vince Perkins in the building with the $5 super chat. Uneducated lame in the building. He's laughing at the violin playing that I got you with earlier. Dane C in the building. She says, salute BR Jackie GC. Jackie, was you part of the Glee Club?
I was
Probably no.
not. No,
Yep, and that's why. That's why
that's
you weren't.
why.
Yeah. No. All right. All right. Here we go. All right, I think that's it. I think that's gonna wrap it up. I'm trying not to trying to make
Can
sure
I
I
say
didn't
something
miss.
before we go?
Yeah, please go ahead. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss nobody.
Okay, yeah. You missed me, but that's okay. That's okay because I'm invisible like Jackie, you know. But so Nady, Nady J L says, and this is when I was going on the diatribe about promotion. She says, "I'm not fat or ugly, but I don't feel the need to dog people that look like me all day on social media. Crybaby. Okay, listen to me and listen to me good. If you're not fat or ugly, then I'm not dogging you. You see, I dog the fat and ugly, but you say people that look like me. How do they look like you? Do you look like Lizzo? I dog her. Do you look like Jill Scott? I dog her. I dog fat ass ugly bitches all day because they are fat ass ugly bitches. Now, and you say people that look like me. Now, one of two things is going on here. One of two things is going on. One, either you are a fat ass ugly bitch and you're lying to me, and others, which is very possible. You hide behind the letter N. That is a strong possibility, or you are not fat and attractive, and you are allying yourself with the women that are beneath you, and that is your damn problem. You should not be in an alliance with something like that. It's like those dudes that fight for cowards. You will constantly be in a situation where you have his back and he don't have yours. You will find yourself getting your ass whooped over something he did. And that is what's going on. You are getting drugged. You are getting clowned. You are being made a fool of, and you are being denied quality penis because of your poor alliance skills. You choose to ally yourself with fat ass ugly bitches. And Bernard, could you share the screen?
In short, you can't complain about not being the beauty standard when you're running interference, defending, and ultimately promoting the not the no standard having non-beautiful among you. It's just that simple.
Exactly.
It's that damn simple. Why are we showing Kelly stamps?
Because I want to point out something. All right. So where's the insult I gave her? Huh? When did I ever insult her? Damn it. I don't insult the beautiful women of the world because I can't. Okay, because I value their vaginas. So when you say ones that look like me, it means that you don't look like Kelly Stamps. That's what that means. I have nothing but compliments for her. I have nothing but compliments and teeth to ass. Yes, I want to bite her ass. So don't hit me with this whole, I insult people that's not ugly and or I insult people that's not ugly and not fat, because I restrict my insults to those of that particular ilk. That's how that works. And furthermore, could you bring up the picture of the prom picture, please?
What prom picture?
The one with the black kids and the black guys and the girls. Yeah.
I'm like, please don't bring up my
Yeah, no,
prom
not you.
picture.
Don't bring up your prom picture.
Don't, please, Bernard, please.
What'd you say?
I said, please don't.
Please, what? What'd you say? All right.
All right. Now you take a look at the third white girl from the right. Okay, the third white girl from the right. That is the least hot. That is the least hot that they come in. Okay, she is the fattest. That is their definition of thick. That is the worst of the bunch, and that is not that damn bad. We got Lizzos and shit out there. We got whole human beings that look like they ate this one here. That is their worst. That is the fattest that they got on this picture. No wonder y'all lose and do better. That is, until y'all do better. That is the absolute ugliest bitch on this picture, And guess what? The hottest one, the one in the blue, the purplish blue, second from the left, is the hottest, and she's also something like black. So don't give me this. I'm just insulting them because they look, because it's a matter of blackness or something like that. No, it's not a matter of that. It's a matter of y'all being far less hot than the hottest one here. Chronically, do better, and then you will get more promotion. It's just like at a job. You got to work hard to get a promotion. You don't know what Photoshop is. Damn it, OG. You took pictures back in the day where it's a man
He said it's Photoshop.
behind like a wooden box, and you got to sit there for 10 minutes waiting for the film to develop inside that wooden box. That's you. Y'all didn't have cameras back in your day. You had fucking midget artists in a box just drawing pictures of people and shit. What the hell? Y'all, you act like everything was in black and white back in the days. And I'm not talking about whatchamacallit. I'm not talking about just photos. Society at large was in black and white. They didn't develop color until 1974. And then as it just went to your brain. It went to your boomer brain. What the hell?
Hey, OG.
Like you know what Photoshop is.
All right. We about to get out of here. How do we not click on some of the super chats? I really do want to find them all. That's the only reason I ended the stream, because I vowed to acknowledge every super chat. So admin, if you can help me find them so we can get off of here. All right, I found that was Dane C's. Mike and Vince, shout out to you. Uneducated Lame did that one. I think we are making it back into the area. All right. I think we about to wrap this up. This show been coming to a long rolling stop. It was some game changer rants that was just epic that we just had to let play out and see where they ended.
Yeah, and some violins that had to be played.
Yeah, I didn't come in planning on doing that. If I would have remembered that at the beginning of the show, oh man, I would have been killing you. I would have been killing you, but I didn't come in. You got RM to thank. RM actually emailed me that violin. So yeah.
When? Today?
No, a long time ago. A long time ago.
I'm like, dang,
Oh
are
no, it wasn't for you. She found it somewhere and was like, hey, here's a violin, if you want to use that for your show, as a sound effect. The StreamYard lets you use sound effects now. But all right.
Thanks,
So we about to
Aria.
Yep. You got her to blame. But all right. So we are getting out of here. I think I got all the super chats. But thank you everybody for coming on through. Appreciate it. Thank y'all for helping me reach the contributor goal. We had 38 contributors on the show today. Do appreciate each and every one of you.
We
Nuruddin
got
just
one
came
last
in
super
at the
chat.
buzzer right there. He says, well, Bernard, even though I was saying it on your show and others for the past 5.5 years, I think now it's too late. Thank you for the super chat, Nuruddin. Do appreciate that. Appreciate everybody who've been supporting the stream. We should be back tomorrow. Oh, I haven't officially confirmed, but on Monday, there's somebody who's going to be on the show who's arguing that even the women overseas in third world countries, he corrected me, he said developing countries, he said they're no different. He said they're no different. He said they got feminism over there all the same. So all you passport bros is tripping. He said he either live over there or have lived over there. I think he said he lives over there. So he basically calling cap on all y'all talking about these women from other cultures. So he's gonna come on the show. So y'all come on out and bring your pitchforks and tiki torches. We getting it in on Monday as soon as I confirm with him. But all right. So with that said, y'all, we are out of here. Peace. We gone. Say bye, Jackie.
Bye.
All right.